Hello, everybody, and welcome to League Zero. You are tuning into the advanced matchup. This is the first week. We've got Kingdom Come versus Powerhouse. These are going to be mid-diamond to mid-masters teams. We're going to be seeing what these teams are going to bring to the table in this best of five, first of three series. I'm Notion, and joining me today is Duga. Hello.
Hello, everybody. Right now, we have an interesting game coming in here. Kingdom Come and Powerhouse. Kingdom Come with an interesting roster. You know, they have a bunch of all these stacked players on their team, and they just look like they're ready, and they have some plans up their sleeve. Meanwhile, Powerhouse, recently they lost their star main tank dad, and right now I'm not really too sure how this is going to play out for them.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see how these teams are going to do under the pressure. Like you said, all these teams have reputations for themselves, and it looks like the first map that we're going to be going to is going to be Lijiang Tower. We've seen a lot of changes in the metas with the shield tanks becoming less and less prominent, a lot more Wrecking Ball, a lot more Roadhog and Zarya. It's going to be interesting to see what team has the best grasp of this new developing meta.
Yeah, what I'm expecting to see here is a lot of Somber Reaper kind of run it down, because as we've been seeing throughout contenders and over a little bit into Overwatch League, they've been playing that Somber Reaper with those dive tanks, and maybe you'll see a King's Row with a Reinhardt, but mostly it's going to be that your Winston Diva with your Lucio Moira, and it's essentially just trying to beat the other team down, and who can do it better is essentially what's going to be here.
So it's going to be about speed. Who's going to get the job done first?
Exactly.
What type of healers are we expecting to see, you think, Duga?
I'm thinking Lucio Moira, maybe an Ana, but I don't. If a team can get away with an Ana, that definitely shows that the other team really isn't that coordinated at all. You shouldn't be getting away with an Ana during this meta here, but again, anything is possible here.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a big gamble, but, you know, huge risk, huge reward. Of course, the Nano Blossoms would be a huge combo to pull off. Just being able to keep your tanks alive, having a lot more versatile healing. The map choice, of course, is going to have a big impact on this, which map we're going to be going to first. But let's take a look at our rosters here on Kingdom Come. We've got the starting lineup of Ant, Mani, Cheddar, Raging Cool. It was Gizd. Trying to remember. Gizd, at Pixel Master 3, and then over on Powerhouse, King Genius, Kit, Mr. Steel Yo Kill, Laura, Lilac, and Slaney.
Yeah, so as I said before, we don't know much about King Genius here. I've heard he was an incredible main tank down in Novice back in Season 1, but I don't know how he's going to fare against this other main tank Ant here. He's made quite a name for himself and has established himself as a pretty dominant main tank in this division. And I'm not sure how King Genius is going to stack up and compared to his previous person in his shoes, dad.
Yeah, and sometimes even the gameplay aside, just the presence people can bring, maybe in the communication, can be such a big carry. Maybe someone is calling the plays, and if you lost someone who was very vocal in the comms, you're losing more than just a valuable player. You're losing a big part of your team's brain.
That is true. So we're just going to have to wait and see how Powerhouse is going to handle Kingdom Come. But anyway, here we go, loading into the game right now.
Lijiang Tower, control map, usually, undisputedly, the best way to start these series is both teams are going to be on the attack. There's no offenders-defenders advantage. It's just going to be some pure, fundamental Overwatch here as we open into the control center. Indoor map. Dive is going to be a little bit harder to pull off on these closed and counted spaces. We're going to have to see if they are going to commit to the Reaper Somber comps that we are seeing develop. We're already seeing a little bit of troll picks with the Bastions. I doubt that we'll see them going through with that.
I highly doubt that either. I think they're going to just go for a standard brawl, trying to run it down. Maybe we'll see a Junkrat, maybe we'll see Symmetrist just staying in here, but who knows, really. People just do really weird things here, but Control Center is always a sight to see, and I love seeing what other team can pull out of their hats.
As we head into this matchup, Clock ticking down now. Kingdom Come on the left-hand side, Powerhouse on the right, as they both make their ways up to the high ground. It's going to be first Ant up against King Genius for the fight of the high ground. Mr. CEO Kill is on the Reaper. He's already on the right, getting in and behind the Reinhardt. Here comes the pin. Both Reinhardts are falling down. It's a nice Maywall to try and shut off the pressure, but both of these teams are getting really close and personal now. Nice boop and good zoning by the side of Kingdom Come already. You're watching King Genius. He's forced into the corner. Eventually will fall to Manny, but while I say that, Ant has also fallen down. The kit, Steve of Mech is already gone too, and look at this. Kingdom Come, they've already done a great rotation onto the point. They should be the first one to clap this point, but here's a late coalescence coming up from the side of Slaney.
Now, an interesting fight there. They had them all pinned down there in that corner, and somehow Powerhouse was able to pull through that. I'm assuming it's because Kingdom Come were a bit more spread out, and basically a death ball was able to go through on top of the other team like dominoes there, giving Powerhouse that fight win.
Yeah, it definitely turned around. The tanks came down first, and they were able to return first because they were doing such a good job stalling the point there from Powerhouse. Time's ticking up now, both about even. You see Laura, he's close to that EMP on the back. He get a nice hack onto the Reinhardt. Blizzard has already been committed to defensively. Here's the Death Blossom is going to be mostly blocked over by Ant. Here's a shatter to Reaper Dash, and Kid is already on the floor. They're making their way through. Big picks here from the side of Kingdom Come already, and that's a nice clean wipe. Perhaps an overinvestment. They're going to make it count, though, as the point flips over again. Very much back and forth with these two teams.
Yeah, that Mei wall in the beginning is just incredible, and as we see Raging Cool with this Mei, he seems like a pro player on this, and these Mei walls and that Blizzard just definitely help them in that fight to give them that solid win.
Here's the EMP. Everyone hacked on the side. And here's the shatter as well to put the final nail in the coffin. Beat was pretty good. Graviton eaten, though, by Kit, though. Here's the beat coming out from the side of Lilac. They're really getting aggressive. They really want to make sure that this push is the push that they flip this quick. And really, that was just a matter of who got to the Q button first. Easy take there for Powerhouse as the turn flips.
Yeah, that EMP Shatter combo is one deadly one, and I love to see it. You know, big slams all around, and King Genius actually looking like that Dad Who is essentially what he's saying here.
Yeah, and you know, big play was kind of overlooked, but Kit eating that grab is huge as far as the ult economy is concerned here for Kingdom Come. You know, they're half on another grab, but they essentially lost one of their best ultimates in that push. It's going to kind of shut them back down to 0 here. Playing with the Zarya, of course, every time she dies, she's going to lose that energy, so it's all risk, all reward here as King Genius is going to look to get cut off by the Mei wall. Here's the Death Blossom in the back, is able to find Giz, but it's not that great. Here's the Diva Bomb into the back line. Ant tries to block it, is successful. The grab does not pull off much. There was no follow-up here, but Lore finds 2 on his own. Here's the shatter coming out from the side of Powerhouse. Finds 2, looking to make that final connection onto Ant, and he does. 80% and counting now for Powerhouse. The side of Kingdom Come really need to turn this around. They're running out of time here.
Yeah, you know, this Powerhouse team is definitely not what I expected. They came out guns blazing playing this game, and as I say that, they come in popping an EMP. Powerhouse just knows no bounds. They're just going in relentless at time again.
Raging
ready.
Cool, Raging Cool's on the point. On the Tracer, nice quick swap. Everyone was committed to that aggressive EMP. Is anyone going to be able to touch? No, they won't. Slaney on the Moira is trying to make the turnaround. It's just Giz. He's able to complete the kill, though. This is a sliver of hope for the side of Kingdom Come if they're able to keep the stall alive. It's just Raging Cool now. He receives the bubble. He needs to touch the point, though. He has not. It's flipped over. Ant immediately hacked on the Wrecking Ball. It should be a quick death for him as Mani's looking to find a pick onto Lore that Sombra needs to be dealt with here. Here comes the sound barrier, though, from the side of Powerhouse, though. Shatter does not connect. That could be a big difference maker here as King Genius gets a random pin out of nowhere all the way onto Raging Cool. A lot of the damage now gone, but looking at Giz, he's close to the sound barrier. This is going to be the difference maker if he's going to be able to pull this up, but the Death Blossom is going to come out, though, for Mr. Serial Kill, and that should be enough to take this out. It's just Ant now desperate on the point, instantly hack focus down, and there goes the first round over to the side of Powerhouse.
Powerhouse definitely came in with some weird kind of antics. They're definitely not what I was expecting at all here. Honestly, Kingdom Come, I don't know if that Mei pick was getting that much value towards the end. Is that Sombra with that hack is just too good not to play here.
Yeah, you know, a matchup that I want to point out is we're looking at Mani, who was on the Zarya, and Kit on the Diva. the difference in value was immense. You know, we saw very few of the grabs followed up with one was Heat, and Kit was doing a great job negating damage, able to shut down that Reaper in the best of form. You know, Bubble is only so good against a Reaper, but just having all that 100% damage mitigation for the few seconds that D.Va provides it is just so powerful to work with if used correctly. As we head on to mirror compositions now, here on Gardens, it's going to be all about who makes the first move, who strikes first. You're going to see that Raging Cool's already looking for the hack. Kit is already instantly going to be popped out. That's a big opener here from the side of Kingdom Come. But as I said, that Ant is already going to fall down. Raging Cool finds the other Winston. They both have no main tanks now. The hacks are good from both sides. This Manny does a good job fending off the back line. But as I say that, he gets hacked as well. Giz on the Lucio does find a snipe onto the baby D.Va. And that's just going to be enough pressure. They still have that D.Va in mech to keep them back on that bridge. Point should be flipping over to the side of Kingdom Come now.
Yeah, so honestly, I think that just DMAC just got rid of so much utility that D.Va brought in. Like their Winston King Genius had nothing to eat, had no follow-up through his off-tank because of that lost utility there. So I think that just that big mech kill was insane for Kingdom Come to take.
Yeah, not having a tank is so crucial in these matchups. Here's a hack onto Cheddar. They're trying to make their way onto the point. The ult advantage is already in the side of the favor of Kingdom Come, as a nice Coalescence should be able to clean up the rest of the tail end of this fight here. You're seeing the dive tanks get in and do a pincer movement. Here's a late Coalescence, though, coming from Slaney, trying to recover what is left of this fight, seeing that their Winston has returned, thinking that maybe they can make something of this, but Kit's still not in the mech, so perhaps not the best investment.
Yeah, I'm questioning that Coalescence there. They already lost that fight going into it. I'm not sure that was the best move. They could have taken that as an engage. Plus, they got that EMP as well. EMP Cole is not a bad combo, seeing as they already.
Look at Raging Cool. He's in the back. He's primed with the EMP. He's looking for a big one. Here's going to be and connects with all 6 of the players. Here's the Death Blossom from Cheddar as well. He's going to get 3 on the tail end of that fight. Easy cleanups for Cheddar. Really well rehearsed there. You could tell that they knew what they were going to do before it happened. Everyone's on the ball, and they didn't have to invest too much. They've got the EMP on the other side from Lore. They've got the same combo, perhaps prepped, but it's so much harder to attack this point than it is to defend it.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta be spy checking those corners. You can't let that Sombra just set up behind, you know. You guys gotta keep checking for that Sombra.
Here's the EMP. Death Blossom beat was saved. He wasn't quite close enough to anyone to make something happen. Sombra v Sombra's happening on the side of the dojo. Here's the Primal Rage coming out from Ant, trying to keep everyone off as Lilac gets a nice boop onto Giz. That's a Lucio in favor. Lilac still has the sound barrier, though, so they should have enough manpower, enough ultimates to flip this over if he is to need to use it. It's just working on Cheddar now, who's on the point. Lots of people on trying to stop him as the trickle comes through. You see Mani, he's gone through the window on the D.Va, doing a great job stalling. He's keeping himself alive for a really long time. It looks like they're not opting to give up the point. They want to fight this as long as possible here, as more and more members are filtering onto the point. And with the D.Va mech popped, it looks like the side of Powerhouse, or sorry, the side of Kingdom Come have opted to give it to him.
Yeah, honestly, that EMP Blossom is just a deadly combo there. I mean, that if that B had come out sooner, I don't even think that would have saved anybody, because that Blossom is just, you die instantly to that, and I don't think you can be safe from that.
But it has to be comboed with the speed boost or nothing's gonna happen. Bomb somehow finds Ant. He was a little bit distracted with the front line, wasn't able to make amends meet. And here, look, watch Powerhouse. They're getting aggressive. They want to be keeping the pressure on. They need to be burning off the time. Getting the kills is the secondary focus here. They just need to focus on wasting the time. 1 kill, forcing them to regroup, doing it again. That's the best thing they could be doing right now.
Yeah, exactly, and they're playing it pretty well. They're getting that 1 pick and forcing them to back off.
There it is again.
Space. And yeah, as we see, they do pick off Raging Cool, and they're just basically forcing Kingdom Come just to wait, regroup, and Kingdom Come needs to find an answer to this to make sure they don't die off rotation. That is key for their win here if they want to take this round off.
It only flipped 2 fights ago, and they're already 50% to their goal. Raging Cool, he's got the MP. There's no doubt they'll probably want to wait for some to combo, but a nice pick by Ant is going to squish them in the back. Coalescence, both support ults coming out from the side of Powerhouse. They really need to make something happen. They knew about the Death Blossom. Here's the counter Death Blossom Cheddar. Bomb in the back line as well. Is going to find Lilac as well as the point has flipped. Big hack comes on to King Genius. He's not able to touch. And with that, we're going to the 3rd round here. Great response from the side of Kingdom Come.
I honestly think that opening pick onto Lori there coming in from Ant was insane. They got rid of that EMP, which means that's a huge, massive gain for them. That means they're down an entire ultimate there. And then therefore they're able to come in with that EMP and just pop it, and they don't have any, and Powerhouse has nothing to win that fight with. They're down an entire ultimate. They only have supportals to maybe try and make something alive, and they were just no match for what Kingdom Come could do.
Yeah, you know, Raging Cooley's been getting so much more done on the Sombra, and it's interesting to see Sombra be the first one to pick in the way that it was. He was with his team. Winston went in for the dive. He was able to get her all the way down to 0 health, which is very hard for Winston to do. You know, you can melee combo and everything, but Sombra usually has that translocator set up for when they get pressured. It looks like they kind of let the ball drop that time, and that was the difference maker. Here we go onto the fight. Nice hack onto Kid is going to bring him really low. The focus fire is good, but the healing is even better. He tries to retreat to his team and is successfully going to be kept off. Great healing from the side of Powerhouse, as with that great heal, they're able to force Kingdom Come back. They were able to respond fast enough to the damage, and look at this, counter hacks coming through. You watch, Ant has already decided to opt out. I think he might have even gotten picked, and now they're going to be able to try and rotate again, but the point has already been capped.
There's a little bit of fight coming out right now, and we got the Cole going in from Slaney and counter coalescences, but Ant is just playing aggressive here, and he keeps being the first one picked, almost as if they think this hack is enough, and here we got a pause coming in.
Yeah, you can really pay attention to the strength of these Moira players. It looks like Ant has maybe some connection issues. Maybe we can associate that with the couple of mispositions there in those last two fights. But even before that, it's clear that Ant is an aggressive Winston player. He's not playing a reactionary style. From what I can tell, he's extremely proactive, whereas King Genius is a lot more reactive. I see that he's checking behind him. He's making sure that his team is within his accountability, that he knows that if he needs to peel, that he can peel. Both very, optimal styles. But if you're going to play more reactionary, if you're going to be playing in a more of a supportive style, your backline, your DPS, they really need to work with what you're providing them. You're essentially handing them your power. And unfortunately, Lore hasn't been able to deliver on those hacks.
Yeah, it's coming down to a major hack. Even with the hack engage, I think it's just playing that extreme, a little bit too aggressive there. Just thinking the fight's won.
Yeah, look at this. King Genius, he's going to fall. Looks like he wasn't able to quite wrap his head around that unpause. As they rotate their way into the point, here's the EMP just for good measure. Counter EMP as well. Here's the Death Blossom. The beat is coming out, is able to find Raging Cool, and here's the other beat just to try and keep the fight alive. They do want to make this a wasted investment. The bomb somehow finds the baby D.Va, and while this is all happening, you can see King Genius has returned. Here's the Death Blossom. He's going to find Lilac. That's a great kill. That's the ones that they needed to focus down, is those healers. Primal Rage on the point now. Here's the Coalescence. Perhaps maybe not the best one. It looks like the fight should be good enough, but you can never really say never in Overwatch. It always can turn around. Mr. Tio kills. Looks like he's the last one on the point on the Reaper. Forces his way outside as Cheddar cleans up the last two. Kit now hacked. That's a lot of all charge fed over to the other side. They know he's got the D.Va bomb now. They can be thinking about playing against it. Flipping over 60% for the side of Powerhouse.
Yeah, honestly, I just think that both teams are just thinking, their monkeys are thinking the fight is already won when they're down 1-1. You can't be thinking like that. It is never over until it's over, as you said before. They just keep playing overly aggressive, and they just get picked off early, and you can't be doing that in this.
And look at this. I'm noticing that Mr. Steal Kill is forced to use his Wraith form so early in these fights before he's even able to get in. You want to be using that to be even more aggressive, but as I say that, he does win the Reaper matchup. Here's the bomb. Good spot. It's going to find Raging Cool in a spot that he didn't suspect. They've already rotated onto the back Kingdom Come. They're on the back foot now. They use their support ults, but they're close to have them again if they can stall long enough. But as I say that, Giz is off the map. Lucio Alpha presence has been dominated there by Lilac as they cleanly sweep onto the point, but they shouldn't be too upset by that because look at the ult bank they have to work with.
Yeah, exactly. Those ultimates coming out for them, they can just take it right back, but even then, Powerhouse, if they play it right, they can easily play around it, you know. They got Ant, who's probably playing on that high ping right now, and really just got to keep playing the way they've been playing and not be getting too aggressive.
Big hack onto the enemy Sombra and the EMP for good measure. Here's the Mr. Steal Kill. He gets two, but unfortunately for them, Giz wasn't able to put the sound barrier down in time. Perhaps it would have been better just to save it once he realized half of his team had fallen. As Manny is going to run off the edge, try not to best to get staggered. This is not a lot of time to work with. They've got ult, but they need to make the distance, and they don't have the speed boost. He's the last one to die. They don't have that sound barrier to keep themselves alive. Pretty vanilla Overwatch for the side of Powerhouse, but they need to touch. There it is in the back. Someone has made it to the point. It's Raging Cool, but here's Mr. Steal Kill. Doesn't look like he's going to connect right now. Lore is doing a good job as well. Here's the Diva Bomb, finds the enemy Diva. Giz finds himself a pick onto Laura here as the fight finally rotates its way onto the point. You see, it's just the side of Giz, Manny, and Pixel Master trying to keep their toe on the point. They don't want it to be able to completely commit. Here's the Sound Barrier coming out from Lilac. Another Death Blossom for Mr. Steal kill. He's building them so fast, and it's good enough. Powerhouse getting up in the series, 1-0.
Yeah, honestly, I think that very last fight, it came down to that Reaper, massive Reaper difference. I think Mr. Stereo Kill got like 2 Death Blossoms in the past 1 or 2 fights. It was honestly insane. And the fact that they lost their Reaper early in that fight is just, it's just insane.
Yeah, everything changed when, somewhere around that disconnect. We saw that Anti was finding himself at the barrel end of the shotguns over and over and over again. Death Blossoms were being built up quickly, and although they might not have been the biggest Death Blossoms every single time, like we saw on Gardens for the side of Kingdom Come, they were doing enough. They were creating enough space, and I'm starting to realize maybe with the strategy or the mindset behind Laura's playstyle is. He's not looking for big hacks on the tanks. I've seen him multiple times this last game. He's looking for hacks on the enemy Sombra, and he did that just before that last fight. He was able to hack, I believe it was Raging Cool, and that was able to make a big difference. He was able to be shut down, and if you're playing, just like I was talking about with King Genius before this, defensive style, reactionary style, hey, what's their game? How do we mess it up? As opposed to, hey, let's just forget about them and play our own game. It can work if you're patient enough. Usually the teams that play like that, they really excel on the 2CP maps or the maps where there's a lot of time between fights where they can collect their thoughts and think about how they're going to take on these fights. And I think that game was slow enough that this team was able to kind of wrap their head around how they wanted to play against these guys.
Yeah, definitely slow and steady wins the race right there. I mean, King Genius actually showing what he's made of, able to say, hey, I can step up to the plate, I can play to the level, I can shatter expectations, no pun intended, than what everybody else thought of me. And honestly, it's pretty interesting what Powerhouse was able to do. They just play that really slow, and it just actually worked out incredible for them, especially with that Kingdom Come aggressive playstyle, trying to get that big hack onto the tanks there, but again trying to shut down that Sombra and looking and playing it slow and waiting for them to make the mistakes, and then that's when you go in. Is just an incredible style for Powerhouse, and I'm excited to see what we're going to be seeing here on this next map. But I'm right as of right now, map hasn't really been picked yet, but I don't know, it could be anything. I don't know what the next map type is. Is it 2CP? Is it
we're just gonna have to. It looks like it is going to be 2CP. So, will Powerhouse continue to be strong? But once we head to these offensive defense style maps, sometimes this is the big difference maker, because if you're a team that is doing a lot of practice, lots of scrims, you've got a coach that's got a big brain and he's thinking about the map structure. I think he's thinking about the defense strategies. He's thinking about how the map geometry is changing and how different compositions are work on different areas of the map structure. Then these offensive, defensive maps, whether it's Temple of Anubis or King's Row or something like that, that's where the coaching of your team can really shine. And sometimes, even if you're struggling in these kind of even attack the attack, neutral King of the Hill matchups, you might be able to make it up in these offense-defense style matchups if you have enough planning. So these are the maps where we're going to see those set plays, those set strats, whether it's a set offense, a set defense, and we're going to see more creativity, I hope. 2CP is a map where the mistakes are punished tenfold. All the different patches have come to try and lessen the punishment of, getting steamrolled or snowballed, but as much as they've done a good job, that presence still exists. So we're going to see which one of these teams can really come through when the pressure's against the wall, because although Powerhouse took this first map, you have to admit it was pretty close.
It was pretty close. I completely agree with you there. I'm wondering if Kingdom Come has a few tricks up their sleeve. I mean, their coaching staff there, they got, I believe, Fordo on their as one of their coaches there. He's got a massive brain, and he's got some pretty interesting strats I'm excited to see from Kingdom Come. And I just think it just comes down to execution from Kingdom Come. And if they can get those strategies down and they can execute them 100%, Powerhouse can't do anything about it. It just seems like Kingdom Come's playing it a little bit. They're making a bit of mistakes here, and that's costing them big. It's costing them entire maps and rounds and things like that.
Yeah, it's still very much too soon to tell. If you're watching along, you're supporting the team. Make sure that you're giving them all your support in the chat. I'm sure that in between these matchups, they're checking the feed to see what people are saying about them right now. So be sure to give all of your support to your teams if you want to see them succeed here in League Zero's tournaments and make their way all the way to the finals. Will we see these two teams further down the line? What is the level of skill? Are we seeing maybe the bottom two teams of this bracket? Maybe these are the top two teams. It's really hard to say, but from what I can see, it's some pretty good Overwatch, especially for the rank that we're going from the mid-diamond to the mid-masters. I'd say that these teams are performing maybe a bit above their skill bracket.
I completely agree with you. I mean, Powerhouse just... both these teams just shattering expectations. Good things to see from both teams. I mean, it's like these teams have been scrimming with each other for a long time. They're really coordinated on what they want to do. It just matters about just, I want to do this, but it's just a matter of getting there, and that's what I think is the problem here.
Yeah, so it looks like we're heading to Hanamura. Famous to CP, we're going to be seeing the Cherry Blossoms go into the birthplace, the nesting grounds of the Shimada clan. What kind of interesting strategies can we see here? We used to see a lot of Symmetra. Is that going to be so prominent when we're seeing more and more dive? I don't think so. But, lots of different options at work. We saw some Mei. We could see some Mei again, that main choke. Maybe even some Pharah. Lots of different things that can be run now that we're going to be heading into these attack defense. Is there any sort of player that you think we should be watching out for this round here, Duga?
I mean, I'm excited to see what King Genius can pull out of his hat. I mean, he completely blew my mind in Lijiang, and I'm excited to see what he can, especially what he's going to do on this map. I mean, and as far as compositions go, I mean, I completely agree with you. It could be anything. I feel like there's a lot more variety he can pull here than Lijiang. He can rip out the Fire Mercy. I wouldn't be surprised if I saw an Ana here either. I mean, or Symmetra. I mean, like, any of these things could be possible here.
Yeah, if you're playing on the defense and you have your Ana set up on the sort of the back left from the defender's perspective, it's far enough away that a Winston or a D.Va can't dive all the way to you from the choke. They're going to have to walk in, and they're going to have to put themselves into a lot of pressure to get within the diving distance. And, if you've got a really attentive defense, that few steps that they are going to have to take to close that jumping distance is going to be enough to bring them down low enough that they're just going to be punished by the time they land. Now, just looking, the teams have swapped, so it's going to be Kingdom Come in the red or on the right, and it's going to be Powerhouse, the team that just won the last map, is now going to be on the left, and we're already seeing some really interesting defense. Look, we've got Sigma, Roadhog, Junkrat with the damage boost, Ashe as well can receive a lot of value from that. Haven't seen this composition before.
Yeah, I haven't seen this way back when until when Hog was back when he was in his prime state there, but this is a bit weird to see right now.
That's an early pick on Giz. Nice damage boosted Junkrat, never seems to fail. Look, he's completely zoning off that top window. It's going to make it very hard for these dive tanks to use that access road, which is, one that's very important when you're playing the dive. So look at this, and you see that the Mercy is damage boosting the Ashe on the high ground. This is just crazy how they're going to be able to approach this.
I mean, I guess their idea is to try and spam that choke so they can't go in, and right now just Powerhouse playing it slow, waiting for that perfect opportunity to get that dive, and I can see they're waiting for it right now.
And who are they going to dive? They've selected the Sigma. Kit, he's backed into a corner. He's back somewhere where his Ana can't really see him, but it's a great nade. Giz is going to fall down as well. They did lose two, but they might have the staying power to keep it in. Laura is somehow still alive on the Junkrat. Eventually will fall on the point, not before trading with Pixel Master 3. Here's the res coming out. This is going to be really deciding as we watch King Genius looking around, trying to find the Sombra, and they're looking to get those picks on the back line. But while they did that, they gave up a tick in the process. Are they going to be able to recontest? It looks like they may have just been a little bit too patient. Here's the touch. Really late. Boop is going to connect, and he's not going to be able to touch.
That is incredible. Honestly, that dive looked a little sloppy, but I'm glad Kingdom Come pulled it together. And it just came down to that initial pick on the dive on the Kit was a good selection. I agree with that. It's just a little bit more of a if you just perfected execution would have been flawless, but good push either way from Kingdom Come here.
Yeah, Kid was really the only diveable target there. Sigma, of course, he's got great staying power, but he doesn't have a lot of anti-dive capabilities. The Kinetic Grasp is only so good. Here's a little nade. They know that they're trying to go lower. Nice little sleep on Ant there. If they had some damage boost rockets or something, that'd be really good. They want to be able to shut him down early. It's an interesting place to hold, but here's the dive. We're going to see as they come through Coalescence as well. Nano boost on a King Genius to play the defense here as the Bob has made his way onto the point to get all that damage into Ant. Here's the Death Blossom instant back. It's going to find two. The Ash and the Mercy combo looking very strong for the side of Kingdom Come now, as King Genius is going to be the next one to fall. Here's the progress building up. One take already down as here comes the tire from Lore. Doesn't connect with anybody, though. That's going to be a big set back as everyone from the side of Kingdom Come is on the point. Here's the beat, well timed, is able to hack him out of that kinetic grasp here. Here's the pin. King Genius does connect. That's a lot of damage onto Ant, but he's able to be quickly healed up. Shatter as well. Here's the Diva Bomb. King Genius is able to block it just in time. His shield is very low. Laguna is going to be able to hack down. Everybody's doing their best to try and stall here. They do not have a lot to work with as Powerhouse is trying to make some difference happen. Mr. Steel Kill does find a good kill. That's the positive sign. He's on the Tracer. He's able to pop the Diva Mech too. They haven't been able to pay attention to this Tracer. There's too many members on the point. Here's the Moira and the Reinhardt coming back on. He's trying to get the presence up. Interesting that he decided to stay on the Reinhardt, though perhaps maybe not the best move. Zlor is the last one on the point. He connects with Mani, though. This is all just... He could turn it around with this. Slaney is on the point. He's getting the boots, keeping himself alive. Mysterio Kill is back on the Tracer. He's a Pulse Bomb. Is going to be quickly Wraith formed out of it. Here's the pin from downtown. This is why he was on the Reinhardt. Kiss is out of the match. As King is going to be pooped off the point. Mr. Steel Kill still present. Another tire built up. This has to be... There it is. Lore with 2 kills.
These picks are just coming out. They just took too. I feel like it just took too long on getting those finishing picks, and they just weren't able to finish it. But a good. I wouldn't be too upset. I mean, they just did get the tire out, and they forced them to swap off their heroes. But I don't know. I feel like they could have won that if they just focused those targets a little bit more, a little bit faster. Yeah. But there was a little. They were just everywhere. Powerhouse was all over the place, and they had no answer. They were a bit uncoordinated, if I do say so myself here.
Incredibly sloppy. The sloppier the play, the harder my lungs have to work. That's why I love casting good Overwatch. Clean Overwatch. But, you know, a lot of it was that they wasted all their ultimates in the beginning and didn't really connect on anything. You saw a lot of those ults didn't do much, except for maybe the Death Blossom that found 2 from the side of Cheddar, I believe. But other than that, a little disappointing. King Genius, he's got the Shatter. He's really thirsting to use it as they're all bottled up in this choke now. We're watching. They're probably smart about it. They're rotating around. Here's the Coalescence, Death Blossom as well. King Genius is going to fall. Laura as well. Cheddar with a nice double K Blossom again. They got to touch the point, though. It's going to be another bit of the bonanza that we saw just a little while ago. Here's the beat for good measure. That has to be it. You'd have to think. You're going to watch Mr. Steel Kill is going to be trying to touch the point. Here's the Diva Bomb. Somehow, King Genius doesn't die. The Shatter is going to be blocked, though. The Winston Bubble was already there. Lore is on the point, isn't able to connect. And with that, they're going to be able to count the point 153 in the time bank. And you know what? It could have been a lot worse.
It honestly could have. I mean, what are you going to do against an EMP Blossom? I mean, I feel like there's really not much you can do. I mean, they just kind of set up there and they kind of just... You know, this is kind of just walked up there to do it, and they really just couldn't recover from that. What are you gonna do? I mean, you can't really recover. You have 1 tick left. You can't go. You can't just be like, oh, we'll just wait and regroup and then we'll go in. You don't have time for that. You got to go and you got to go now. So it's just a good initial dive for coming from Kingdom Come.
But this is what I find disappointing is that, you know, yes, the EMP Death Blossoms are strong. There's not a lot of counters to it, but if you're paying attention, and you're paying attention that like, hey, you know, they've got the EMP, and you're on Diva, you need to think, I can't get hacked right now. I need to make sure that I'm not getting hacked. I'm flying in and protecting my team with the defense matrix. Or if you're Lucio, you need to think, I've got my beat. I can't get hacked. You need to spread out a little bit, because if you're just going to commit yourself to these tiny chokes, you're asking for things to go wrong. You saw... good reaction time for Slaney popping the Coalescence early, knowing that they were coming in with some ults, and I believe they were able to stay outside of the hack radius, so the Coalescence was able to continue, but they need to be quicker with this spreading out. They need to react better to these EMPs, because right now they're being made to look like fools.
Yeah, definitely looked like they were clueless when it came to that EMP, but here we go. Both, they're running out of spawn right now. Let's see what they're going to be pulling out of their hats right now.
Yeah, we're watching. Is it going to be the same type of strat? No, they're staying grouped up together. They're rotating around. Now, this is how you execute this type of dive. You want to make sure that you're staying in cover. Ooh, King Genius, though, takes a lot of heat, deciding to not go the long way around, cutting across. Here's a nice bubble. It's creating a lot of space for the backline to work with. That could be enough to get this going. You see that already LeChuga on the Lucio is able to get on the walls where he wants to, so he's providing that healing without being pressured in the slightest. The Ash Mercy combo didn't do enough damage when they were rotating around, and then they found themselves in a compromising position, which they still find themselves in. Look, they're really in a bad spot right now, but just as I say that, Cheddar proves that his aim is stronger than his positioning might lay it off. He finds a pick, looking on, you just see that he is on the Mercies, whipping out the biotic pistol there. Bob is on the point now. They're trying to keep this going. They managed to hack Bob, so he's not doing too much right now, looking pretty sad in the corner. And it looks like they might be able to turn this around. It's all going to be on F and commits the Primal Rage or not. That's what I'm interested to see. He's 93%, but he's going to fall before he's able to get it up.
I mean, I'm curious as to why they thought they could to win that. I mean, it seemed like they had the Mercy was going in their Battle Mercy, yet they popped Bob, and then their tanks going, just feeding them ult charge. I mean, they already got an EMP for this next push. I don't know how this is going to look.
Yeah, I maybe they knew they were going to swap anyways. Here's the MP. You're going to watch. Nice follow-up, though. King Genius on a Cheddar. That's a lot of their damage gone. They need to pick a target, and they need to pick one fast. They know Ant has the Primal. There it is. He's going up. He's able to interrupt himself from getting hacked for the meantime. Here's the other Primal on the point. We've got King Kong fighting on the point. Manny is going to be able to find a pick onto LeChuga in the air with that Diva Bomb. Raging Cool is able to find one on the Tracer, but as I say that, he does fall into the pit. He's going to have to take the long way around to get back into the damage here. Kit finds one onto the opposing Diva. It's all going to be about on these hacks. Here's the Nano Boost onto the Winston. A great selection. Should be able to cleanly sweep up these last few players here with the Swiffer Duster. That is the Tesla Cannon, and that's going to be a nice solid hold.
I think that was an incredible hold coming in from Kingdom Come.
Oh, look at the stagger.
Oh no, this is totally BM. You can't be doing this. This is totally... Oh no.
Viable strategy.
I mean, it's viable. I agree with you there, but I don't know if that's the best kind of manners you want to be having in this game.
Overwatch is a psychological game. There's no peace in war.
That's very true. It's just getting in their head, really.
Alright, going into this next fight, we have the side of Powerhouse. They've got both their support ults to work with. Here's the Pulse Bomb in the back, doesn't connect. Wraith Form out of it. They're going to be a little disappointed with the lack of progress there. Here they're making their way onto the high ground as Mysterio Kill is gone. That's going to be looking pretty good for the side of the defense, and with that, they surely just have to end that. Kit is in a he's in the Baby Diva again. He wants to run for his life, not get staggered. Luckily, the focus is not on him as he makes his way to the cliff. There he goes. Once again, a reset, and we're 3.5 minutes and counting. If the side of Powerhouse want to maintain the momentum that they have from this first round, they really need to be capping soon. But look, they're very close to the 6 ultimate slam. It's all going to be about if they can make Giz waste this sound barrier. I think that he would be the number 1 dive target.
I mean, if you see where Giz is positioned, he's positioned in the back. He's got that. He's gonna get that beat off. But if Laura can get that initial hack on their Lucio, then they'll be able to get this EMP. But if he doesn't hack that Lucio, it's not gonna go.
Walked right by him, and he didn't opt to hack him. Here it is. Oh, he's able to connect on all of them though. Great positioning though. Somehow he didn't decide to hide around that corner, and he paid the price. Cheddar is very low. He's got the Nano Boost, is keeping him alive though. Here's the bomb's gonna find LeChuga as they make their way onto the point. Death Blossom is probably gonna be coming off right on the tail end of this hack. You see that Giz has the sound barrier still, and you know what? He might have gotten hacked, but his team recovered, so they didn't actually need to use it. So that's the best case scenario for them, and they got another stagger.
I mean, as you see the stagger going on, I mean, like the initial pick onto Mr. Steelio Kill, I mean, that's like a lot of damage you're out. So with this EMP, they had almost no time to follow up on it. Those hacks only last a few seconds, and there was nothing they could do with that EMP. So honestly, it was a good EMP, but they didn't really capitalize it fast enough, especially without that damage there.
It was the perfect EMP, but what happened was they activated a defensive Nano Death Blossom, and they weren't able to kill him. He was just doing too much damage. Here is the D.Va Bomb, well positioned, perhaps not well enough. Everyone's forced onto the stairwell. Here's Ant on the high ground. Sand Barrier is going to be blocked off by the Winston bubble. Some members of the team didn't get it. Here's a defensive Sand Barrier. Is going to get most of the team. Feeling pretty confident about that. But look at this. From the side of... just as I say that, we got to pause, but I was just about to say that the side of Powerhouse, look at their attention. They're so split. King Genius is up on the top. He's doing his own thing. Mr. Steel Kill, he's trying to connect. He's trying to do his own thing. Kit's trying to play both sides, be defensive, but when you have a Reaper, you need to build around the Reaper. You need your Lucio right next to him, speed boosting him. He's doing the primary amount of damage. As a Winston, you want to be putting the bubble somewhere he can maneuver around so that you can basically support that DPS character, because that's where damage is coming from. You need to enable this guy. And if he's not able to close the distance, then you might as well be playing Soldier or something else.
Yeah, I'm wondering why Lechuga's just standing there wall riding on the wall while their team's on the point. They got King Genius on the high ground trying to fight off that D.Va. I mean, the Kingdom Come, they must be in the middle of trying to regroup or something, but I don't know. The Lechuga needs to give her speed boost to that to their Reaper there so they can push in that target, because it looks like they're trying to shoot that Reaper there as but he's just popped his Wraith, so I really don't know, but it looks like they should if they play it right, they should be regrouping on the point and focusing down a target. They need to give that D.Va... I know it sucks, but you have to give that high ground up and try and help your team out with that Winston and coordinate. And you're a much bigger menace as a point presence than you are on that high ground, especially as Winston.
Yeah, as we head back into the game here, the pausing sound will get away from my ears as they rotate onto the point. Very hard to recover from a pause game. Here's the Nano Death Blossom. Nice smack, though, from the primal range to keep him away from his team. But as I say that, he's going to be going down. That's a lot of HP fed right back into the ultimate bank. And, you know, if you're the side of Powerhouse, you just need to give up right now. Why are they using all these ultimates? I wonder if for both sides, too. The EMP was gone. The D.Va Bomb's now gone. They're just panicking. They had so much time, and they're taking way too long for this fight to be over.
I mean, I can understand the D.Va Bomb trying to finish that, but the EMP, I mean, I don't know. I guess they both thought they could win that fight. I mean, I'm kind of questioning all these ults really here. I mean, but
it looks like they didn't mentally reset when that pause happened, and there was a bit of panicking.
Yeah, I mean, they did Kingdom Come did regroup on the point, but it's just unfortunate that a Nano Reaper just tears through a Primal Rage Monkey as much as you hate to see it, but as you're looking at this here, they use all their Kingdom Come use all their ults. They're gonna have almost nothing to push in with. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and they've got not a lot of time to do it. They need to finish with some time on the board if they want to actually play this round again. King Genius is going to find an early pick, but he's going to trade his life to get it. Obviously, the defense is going to be the one with the advantage there. Raging Cool finds himself a nice little neat 2K as Cheddar is going to receive the Nano Blossom, shoo everyone away. But as I said that they did a nice little pincer motion, were able to bait them out somewhere they didn't have the support of their Ana play. The Ana player way in the back, and just with that, they're able to find 2 picks. That was a great little rotation there from the side of Kingdom Come, making sure that they're playing where the healers can't heal them. That's a disadvantage of having the Ana position so far back, and that little play might be enough to get them the point.
A very interesting play, and honestly, I feel like that Nano Reaper just didn't really get the value that it should have.
The D bomb is too high in the air. Here's another EMP built up quick. Bomb on the point. Mounty finds the Lucio. Well done. It's just all going to be on if they're able to connect with these tanks. False bombs out. Does not connect. Here's the Primal Rage from Ant. He is able to avoid getting hacked. That's a good job from him. Mr. Steel Kill finds his counterpart Tracer. That's going to be a big damage out of the fight. But as I said, he finds Mr. Steel Kill. Everyone's scrapping onto the point right now. King Genius is on the Wrecking Ball. He's quite low. Needs to get healed up, but the spawns are just going to be there for the side of the defense. They need to stay on the point. Every time he rolls off, Overtime Wick burns down, and just like that, Kingdom Come are going to even up this series 1-1.
Yeah, Kingdom Come just playing that defense perfectly to the point where Powerhouse really couldn't find an opening. They constantly got picked off first during that rotation, and I'm not sure why they kept on trying to go through that high ground. They could have went main, jumped up there, but they kept on doing the same thing. They kept on trying to beat a dead horse, and it really almost never works in the game. Again, a game like Overwatch, you can't just keep doing the same thing over and over again. You're just you're setting yourself up for failure. So, just good things coming in from Kingdom Come, just able to play that perfectly, and I have massive props to them to be able to turn it around and get it to 1-1 here.
1-1 indeed as we go into the half. Uh, and time for everybody's favorite segment. What is the chat saying? Taking a little bit of look at everyone's interaction. We have some people saying neither of these teams know how to play 2CP. Frustrating to watch. Yes, this has been a little bit frustrating, but they're doing their best. How did the what else do we have here? Lots of things I don't want to read out, guys. Let's keep it professional. Spam this mouse to help Powerhouse from Lilac, little teammate encouragement there. Always happy to see. Anyways, that's all I have, unfortunately. and with that, let's take a little bit of a break, and we'll be right back with more of the action. Welcome back. It is 1-1 apiece. Kingdom Come and Powerhouse in this advanced bracket. Mid-diamond to mid-masters. I'm Eden Notion, and I'm joined by Duga.
Hello, everybody. It's been an intense series here. Both good things coming out from both teams. I mean, Powerhouse taking that first map on Li Jiang, making a great debut from King Genius, and Kingdom Come here able to pull it back and be able to take that Hanamura and play it really well, and showing actually what the strategies that they're able to pull out and playing Powerhouse and capitalizing on their mistakes. It looks like they're just learning fast. And as we get to King's Row, I'm extremely excited to see some Reinhardt play. As we saw a little bit on Li Jiang, it was incredibly intense. The battle between Ant and King Genius is just too good not to watch.
Yeah, we've seen the Winston v Winston. We've seen that matchup. Is it going to be a different story on the Reinhardt? Reinhardt is one of those tanks where it's all about how the teams build around you. But as I'm saying that, that's not what we're seeing on the defense at all. Ant is sticking with the Winston.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised at the Winston, but again, it's not impossible. I've seen it done before. Winston is not... I definitely think it's a good pick here. I'm wondering if they're going to stick with the ball, if they're going to swap to something like a... I'm wondering about the ball pick, honestly. Like, if they're sticking with that. Both are not bad picks by any... Oh, they're swapping to Winston. Looks like we're not going to be seeing Reinhardt actually at all, so... A little bit of a disappointment here, but it's going to be a good match nonetheless.
We do have the Widowmaker to look at, never mind. Just as I thought we'd see something new. Same old, same old. See who can perfect their craft, rotating around. Chatter's going to find a nice early pick. Mr. Seal Kill did not stick with his team. You're going to see a lore. He comes in and gets a little hack, but it was a little bit late on that hack. His team was already over-rotated, didn't have the support, didn't have the Reaper to keep the presence alive, and just like that, a nice little early defensive hold.
It seems like a lot of the time, like, Mr. Seal Kill's constantly picked off first by Cheddar, and these picks on the rotation are just incredibly, like, big picks here. I mean... it's just insane. It just completely slows the push down, and I'm surprised they actually try to still keep themselves in it, even though they lack that DPS.
Alright, well, this time the Reaper's with them. Should be a difference maker. Of course, the ult economy is not in their favor. The Coalescence is coming out. You're going to watch Anne. Finds a nice little squash. She's very good at seeing those low targets and going in for the snipe. It's going to be able to nice little melee kill to finish off Lilac, as well as another... minute is gone from their time bank now.
As we see Kingdom Come here, building that EMP Blossom, maybe something to look... It's going to be I don't know how Powerhouse is going to play around this. I think it's just going to be another fight win for Kingdom Come with that EMP Blossom coming out.
Yeah, here comes a King Genius fronting the push. Here's the defensive EMP. Chatter, though, with the follow-up. Huge 3k on the Death Blossom as well, with a nice little speed boost to get him where he needed to be. That was very clean, very quick kills. Kit, once again, finding himself in the same situation. Didn't stall him out that long, but still every second counts. Now it's going to be all on Laura with this EMP. Are they going to be able to recreate what they had just been taken out by?
Honestly... I mean, that was a clean fight and a nice fast one, but I don't think it really got that much value. I mean, you're the defense. You want to be stalling that time out, you know, instead of taking quick wins.
Giz is already on the high ground, well hidden. He's paying attention. He knows the EMP is coming. Here's the Diva Bombs versus Diva Bombs. Boom! Batman's Diva Bomb is going to be good. Kits is okay. It's not going to be enough, though, as Cheddar cleans house. You're going to see Ant. He wants to get that final killing blow. It expends his Primal Rage to do so. Just to put the final nail in the coffin. A minute and a half remaining now for the side of Powerhouse to get there together.
Yeah, I mean, look, Giza didn't even need to use that beat for that EMP. I mean, he just held it, and I think that was pretty smart. They would probably keep that beat for another fight push, maybe the Blossom or something, or a counter beat, but very smart of Giz just to keep that for him.
They really need to engage. Here's a huge EMP. King Genius is going to fall very quickly. Pixel Master getting nice cleanup. Less than a minute remaining. They know the ultimates that they have to work up against. Kit again getting staggered out. Really not looking too good. They use their trump card, that EMP, and look at this. King Genius, he's saying, I'm done with this Winston play. It's not working for me. I need to take matters into my own hands. He's on the Reinhardt. Kit has swapped onto the Zarya as well. That one's going to be a little bit trickier to work with such a small time frame, but if he's able to get a couple strong bubbles in, of course, Batman won't be able to defense matrix his beam damage.
Yeah, an interesting swap, but I'm excited to see it as it's Reinhardt. You know, I'm always excited to see that.
Yeah, King Genius is in there swinging in. He's able to make some space for his team. Here's the Death Blossom. It's a nice sound barrier as well. And Mr. Kill finds one. Here is the Primal Ray trying to get some damage in. His Laura on the McCree is doing great work for his team. He's obviously on a comfort pick. Look at this, 70% on a Deadeye already in just less than a minute of a fight. And that's finally going to be them working away. They were trying to work with what is, considered the meta. But just as I say that, are they going to be able to recontest? Here's a nice flashbang, shut him down. King Genius with a nice pin. Here's the Diva Bomb. This is going to be blocked. Batman finds two! This could be a difference maker here. You're watching Ant. He's on the point. He's trying to make something happen here. Kit, he's very low, but he has high energy. He's going to be the glass cannon for his team now if he's going to be able to land that damage. Here's the oh, they just got off the point. Good stuff from Powerhouse, able to cap it.
That was I think that's a very good swap, a very good call, because they're not playing that dive. They're taking a weird rotation into these tight corridors, and like they're not really taking the fight. The fight's just coming to them, and they have no match. But when they're on that Reinhardt, they came in and they took that fight, and they were able to make something happen. And as we're seeing coming up with a high noon, maybe they can make something happen again. Maybe zone them off so they can get a little more space. But I don't really know how this next fight's gonna go.
Yeah, I like this comp better for this team. They have so much more staying power, and they usually aren't the one making the first move, especially if you're on offense and they're playing against dive, you're reacting. Here's Cheddar. He's found a nice one to Kit. That's a lot of their damage gone. They're respecting this push. They're backing up. You saw that, ooh, Mr. Steel Kill's in a compromising position right now. Is he going to be able to weasel his way out? And somehow he does. Interesting that they weren't able to get the final kill there. Quick little reset. They got the payload through that choke. It's a very hard choke to get through. Now they just have to make the distance up.
And very smart of them to back out after losing Kid. That's a lot of damage and a useful utility you're missing there.
Death Blossom in the back. Nice boop. He's able to save his team. There's a big grab, though. He's caught 0 players. He's going to be very disappointed with that. Might be enough damage, though, to clean this up. Raging Cool catches Mr. Kill mid-teleport, though, as Kit is unleashed on the Zarya. Tons of damage in that last fight. Fortunately, he didn't get much with the grab. 20% working onto his next one, but they do have this Earth Shatter to work with.
Yeah, I mean, once you pick that Lucio or Reaper, that fight's going to topple into your way. I mean, like, that Reaper has no speed boost, and, that he just really can't get to places there, and the Blossom was big, but the grab didn't get much value, but I guess it was for zoning, so, I mean, not too bad coming in from
King Genius. He was trying to go for a flank shatter, but it was caught out by the Sombra. Here's the bomb. It's going to catch out Lilac. He actually lost his sound barrier. Here's the big shatter combo with the High Noon. Is able to take out Ant in his primal. That's a lot of the presence gone for the side of Kingdom Come. Here's Cheddar. He's got the Death Blossom. It's nice block, though, from King Genius. Able to keep everybody off. He is going to get hacked, but the bubble is there, so he's able to keep swinging for free. Getting very low, though. The heals need to come in clutch right about now, and they will. It's going to be overtime now as Ant comes back onto the point on the Wrecking Ball. Raging Cool's doing a good job contesting the point from the high ground as Ant is going to be ripped down. It's just Raging Cool now to contest, but as I say that, the point's already been capped. What am I paying attention to as the fight moves on? They've somehow found this momentum, and we're looking at Kit to see if he's going to be able to do something with this grab.
Maybe he can do something a little bit more than just zone him away. Maybe, I don't really know. Hopefully it just doesn't get eaten by Batman. That would be incredibly tragic coming in. If he can eat that grab, I think that they can. Kingdom Come can stop him right here.
Absolutely. But Batman's got out of the mech. Perfect reaction time. Here's the grab. Mr. Kill is there with the bubble and the Death Blossom. That's a steamroll. They've got 3 on the payload as well, making their way out. Pixel Master is the last one. Is he going to be able to get picked? Oh, that's a nice little stagger, too, just for good measure. But they need a few more people on the point. Come on, they could have touched it already, perhaps. Ant is going to go on the Wrecking Ball looking for the boops. Lilac, though, is able to take out the enemy Lucio. That's big for this fight. Laura finds one. Here's the Shatter. Both tanks are going to be put down to the floor here as the Coalescence desperately comes out for Pickle Master to keep his team alive, but the presence is so strong as Lilac finds another final blow. You're going to watch Giz. He zooms onto the point on the Lucio, looking for a boop. Almost catches the Reinhardt, but unfortunately he's just a little bit too heavy. Here's the Doomfist coming in with the uppercut, is able to try and find a connect. Here's the High Noon in the back, though. Ant is able to stay away from it for the time being. He's stunned up, looking to find the connect. He's going to be taken down, though, and Raging Cool can't get there in time. 10 seconds from overtime. Very close.
A great push from Powerhouse. It took a little bit of time in the beginning, off to a rough start, but they were able to hold it together. I think after capping that point, they only lost one fight, which they immediately took back after a soft reset. Powerhouse played that well as soon as they swapped to the brawl. Maybe finally they can swap to the brawl, but I don't think that's going to happen. They might just stick to the monkey, but I mean, I think Powerhouse found their groove with that brawl comp, with that Reinhardt and the Zarya. I mean, just the Zarya beaming down that neck for that grab was just incredibly smart. Just that high charge, you really can't do much about it. I mean, Kingdom Come has to make a swap and adapt to that brawl comp. Maybe they could find something, but I got no idea. But we're seeing what we saw before. An interesting battle. I wonder how it's going to fare. I mean, Kingdom Come does play this combo very differently from Powerhouse. Powerhouse goes on these weird rotations with this dive, whereas Kingdom Come, never mind. They're debating me. I don't know what they're doing. But they decide to actually dive for space and dive those high grounds instead of opting for the rotation. And I think that's how they play it, and I think that's just what's superior here. I mean, those are really weird rotations that the Powerhouse takes, but I mean, it works for the brawl, so whatever works.
Maybe we're giving these guys a bit too much credit. We're trying to decipher the micro decisions behind their plays. Maybe everyone's just playing their own game. You know, everyone's just trying to get kills. For the most part, it looks pretty good though. The level of Overwatch is definitely comprehensible. As we head into this fight here, we're going to be watching the side of Kingdom Come. They're on the composition that they know well and have had the success on. As we were talking about before, Powerhouse is on a much more comfortable pick now. How are they going to approach this fight? King Genius looks for the swings. Is going to be brought down his shield a little bit, looking to rotate in, rotate out. It's all about moving in and out, rotating. The shield is gone, though. He was able to let it break. Not the best situation to be in right now, as the first tick is going to be gone. Looking for the second tick. A big hack on a King Genius. Here's the Coalescence to try and clean him up. They are forced to rotate back into the hotel. Here's the counter Coalescence. They need to touch the point, though. Are able to. Here's a big pin from downtown to steal a kill. It's going to find one in turn, and although they were able to recover from that, and definitely a very challenging push to recover from, look at what they lost in the process. 90% already given up on the first push.
Yeah, I mean, I understand why they backed up, but I mean, I think they backed up for a little bit too long there. They kind of realized, oh wait, we have to actually touch this, and then they had to run in, and they just already gave up 2 ticks like that. I think if Kingdom Come makes another push, it's going to be easy.
Here's the grab EMP. It's just Ant right now. Cheddar finds one on the kit. That should be enough, honestly. You watch King Genius without his Zarya. He's really caught himself in a hard place. His healing is good, keeping him alive. And as I say that, the backline was all over the place. Batman had actually lost his mech, and they weren't able to be aggressive because they were just trying to maintain the Diva mechs, or the Baby Diva's presence. So they got away with it this time, but is everyone going to be able to rotate back from the respawns in time? Looks like they will be just fine. King Genius has the Shatter now as Ant has responded by getting on the Reinhardt, probably looking to block what could be a game-deciding Shatter. Here's the beats. They got to touch the point. Here's a High Noon in the back. He's making lots of ground, a good speed boost as well. Is able to connect. Here is the bomb. Nice block as well. Ant is way in the back. As I say this, he's able to be cut off from his heals. Shield's gone down. How is Ant still alive here? Here's the Coalescence doing a very good job. Death Blossom in the Shatter as well. King Genius popping off. Absolutely decimating this push that they had going for them. Showing that he is the superior Reinhardt player in this matchup and that he's no longer going to be pushed around.
I mean, King Genius trying to force this Ryan is a brilliant move by him because they've shown they can't compete with the Monkey as well as Kingdom Come can. But when it comes to the Reinhardt, King Genius does have them beat here. I'm actually excited to see. I mean, their Ant's only 40%. King Genius can easily lap him with another Shatter. It's not looking good here if you're a Kingdom Come fan.
Yeah, King Genius absolutely walking over them with the King Penis. Here comes the High Noon. Huge double kill, though, as it's going to come through. Raging Cool with the grab. Everyone's coming around. Nice easy cap though from the side of Kingdom Come. Wasn't quite in the same amount of time frame as we saw from the counterpart. They had a little bit of time to work with, and look at this. This is the difference between these two teams. Like, we're talking about proactive play coming from the side of Kingdom Come. Look how far they're pushed up, and they've just left the one person on the point. Giz with the sound barrier. Everybody's looking to put pressure on.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have that speed boost. That just means they are able to hold that ground. I mean, as you see, they're backing up, trying to play near their Lucio, trying to bring that fight back to the car, but...
Here's the High Noon. Nice little speed boost to make it work. Ant is going to be able to squash him between him and the enemy Reinhardt. This fight could go either way, though. It's not a humongous loss. Big shatter, though, for Ant. Fighting back. He wants to make his presence known as a Reinhardt player, and he's done it in a nice, swiftful action. And that entire time that fight was happening, the payload rarely stopped. It was pushing while they were connecting. And it stopped for maybe a second or two, and it was immediately moving again. So this is really going to make a difference on their final time. They're going to be heading into this checkpoint position with lots of time to work with. As we remember from when it was the other way around, they were fighting well into overtime.
Yeah, I mean, Ant's showing that just, you know, hey, this isn't an MTG just yet here.
Yes, both shatters coming out. Here's the grab. Death Blossom coming out in the back. Mr. Steel Kill doesn't really connect. Batman, though, finds one. Mr. Steel Kill finds one onto Ant, and there's just so many more bodies on the payload for the side of the offense here. Cheddar cleaning up. Just use the Death Blossom. He's already 40% on another one. It's looking to be really, really one-sided right now. Kingdom Come. This is a map that they're obviously very comfortable with, and you know, a lot of it has to do with the fact that I believe that Powerhouse just took way too long to swap onto this comp when they were on offense. If they started with this comp, I feel like we'd be seeing a much more even time frame.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there, but I mean,
nice shatter.
Yeah, King Genius just letting these shatters go through. Ant's just popping these, and he's getting away with it. It's insane. I thought this was honestly just a Ryan difference, but it's really not. Ant's showing that he could actually... Honestly, I think Ant's actually trying to give... King Genius is getting a little cocky, is what I believe, and like Ant's just like, nah, man, you can't be doing that.
Look at King Genius's positioning right now. He's got the shatter. This would be a legendary play if it was able to be pulled off. Giz up there as the Lucio, completely oblivious to the fact, oh, he is going to pay attention to his corners. Looks like everybody was able to sniff him out. Little Lucio Giz there with the Bloodhound nose, forcing him to rotate back. But, you know, it did waste some of their time. Here's Raging Cool with the High Noon in the back. The speed boost isn't quite there, though. It's not going to be enough to do any capitalizing damage here as they rotate. But look at this. Kit's in a weird spot. Needs to reconnect with his team if he's going to make something happen. Here's the Shatter and the grab of both tank ults being committed, and nothing is going to be paid for. Shatter finding himself lots of picks in that fight, even opting to use the Death Blossom on the tail end as we watch Slaney opt to fall off the cliff. 2 minutes to work with here. They do have a couple ults, but it's going to be close.
We're seeing a swap to the hog. They're thinking maybe we can get a hook into the pit with it. Oh, that was a massive grab there.
Miss Geo Kill's trying to be kept alive. Slaney's on the floor, and with that, the time banks are different by 1 minute and 21 seconds. Still anybody's game, but it's definitely looking like Kingdom Come has the edge.
That grab right there was absolutely insane. That was so... huge. The fact that they also got car progress off it, where they couldn't touch the car, and that it got also so much value that it didn't even matter if they touched point after that, because so many of them were dead, and they had that shatter just to clean up whatever was on point. It was just insane how well Kingdom Come played it there. I mean, their tank line is incredible. It's just popping off this map. It's really showing that they're doing some amazing stuff here.
Amazing stuff indeed. These teams are bringing it. They own the fourth. Looking for that little bit of extra strength here. Once again, 3,200 to 3,800. These teams working hard. They want to prove that they are the League Zero champions, that they are the best of the worst, and the bragging rights that come with it. They are setting up here for the side of Kingdom Come inside the hotel. This is where you want to set up if you're this team. The real issue when you go Ryan v Ryan is just whose Reinhardt's shield breaks. If you let your shield break as Ryan, your team is definitely going to be suffering for it. You want to be making sure that you're able to put it down just before it breaks, so you're not penalized with that penalty. Take the damage to your chest, hope your teammate has the heals, That's the difference maker. Here's the teleport bastion onto the high ground with the Sigma as well. Great stuff when it's going to work, but of course they can always kite around it. Just need to keep your toe on the point there, King Genius. There you go. That's going to cause them to force to rotate around. That's the pressure that you want to be causing. Lore with the Sim, building up his beam charge on the shield. Ant's shield is dead. Look, up against a nice healthy shield of King Genius. They've got these set plays we were talking about, and they decided to save it for the second round because they didn't want to give away their strats in the beginning. Good stuff from then. Raging Cool's in an odd spot. He's going to be shut down quickly. We're seeing a bit of this double shield meta that we used to see so much before. Still optimal comps when you're running, and perhaps not at the tippity top of the scale of skill level, where people are going to make mistakes in certain compositions people can get away with, but they're sticking with the Symmetra here, Duga.
Yeah, I'm curious about the Sim. I mean, they must have some weird TP strats they're coming off with. And I see that TP setup. As you see, I think you're seeing what I'm seeing with that TP top.
Oh, yes, I know. Oh, but the Sigma fell off. He had a good shield, but he put it back down. The Sigma really needs to not blunder with the shields here. That's going to be the difference maker here. It looks like it didn't do too much. Now into the back. Echo's doing the damage. Mr. Steel Kill gets pinned. Ant is in the back, and he connects. Everybody's got to stay on the point, though, for the side of Powerhouse. Here's the Shatter, doesn't connect. The Sim Wall's still there. Flux is on the point. This is going to be good. This is going to be a difference maker. Kate binds one onto Ant as well. All the pressure is now on the side of King Genius to stay alive and keep the pressure on. They're all looking to find their way out, but they didn't kill Batman. He's exiting with that energy. This could be the difference between them contesting and having a stolid fight. Look at this. The Sigma, he's lost his shield pre-fight as well. Although they have the numbers, it's definitely even. This could go either way. They need to shut down Batman. He's already got the grab. There it is. It's a final death breath grab. Good shielding, good rock as well to shut down the Death Blossom. Great and Cool finds one onto King Genius with that focusing beam. Steal a kill finds Ant. You see Lore, he's swapped onto the soldier. He's doing damage from the high ground. Great position from him. He's able to get all this damage in uncontested as he finds a pick onto Pixel Master the healer. Here's the Echo duplicate. Doesn't find much. You're going to see Echo. She's going in the air trying to find that damage. Batman, he swapped onto the Wrecking Ball. That's how you know that they're panicking. They want to stop the point. Right now, they're not opting to regroup. And this is just a little bit of scraps with that move! Almost stopped the game from happening right there. Batman almost clutched. Milliseconds between the game stopping just then. That's why people pick the Wrecking Ball. You never know when you might just get lucky and get a huge play.
If they just stalled the set like a millisecond, they would have gotten that dub there. But again, I don't know. They were quick to regroup and refocus on that point. As you did see, they did swap off that Sim Bastion, unfortunately, but the amount of value it got is just insane, and this push for the amount of time they have is just...
Yeah, it's a nice pulse bomb onto Ant. That's going to be a big opener. They only have that Reinhardt to really contest the point. Sigma's not the best at it, but as I say, that Raging Cool finds a nice meteor strike. Here's a Sigma. Oh, it's going to catch 3 in the air, but as I say that, he's going to be brought down before the damage is inflicted, and it's looking like that's where the payload's going to stop. Cheddar, here's the Death Blossom little pirouette. Just tries to stop this payload, but look how far they got with the time that they had to work with. This is definitely workable.
Yeah, I mean, a minute push just to get that is... I would not be happy. I would not be upset with that at all. I'd be pretty happy with that push there. Kingdom Come has a long ways to go, and it's not even impossible that they can stop them. Powerhouse can't stop them on this push. It's only 2 minutes. It's not that long. But I'm wondering what kind of strats that they're gonna that Powerhouse is gonna pull out here. They whipped out the Sim Bastion on attack. I wonder if they're gonna have some kind of fancy thing. Are they gonna hide in a room? Maybe Sim Bastion again? I got no idea. I'm excited to find out.
Just as water takes out fire, the only counter to cheese is more cheese. I'm expecting maybe some funny stuff. But it depends, are they rehearsed in funny stuff? Are they a no-nonsense team? This is what we're going to find out. Looks like they're running, what they've been running. Ant, he's on the Rhine. He knows that in King's Row, up against a Reaper, Winston is just so hard to get right. Rhine's got that really good staying power, so perhaps the best option there. Batman on the Deep versus Kid on the Zarya. That's going to be interesting. And look, they've got a game-winning combo. They've got one of these classic Overwatch combos, the Grab, Dragon Strike. If they can land a couple of those, or even if they can just land one good one in overtime, that could be enough. So it's all going to be on if they're landing these.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like their win condition is just that grab dragon, and maybe if their team can pop off, they have a bunch of other win conditions as well with that blossom and shatter. I mean, it's just insane. But they're walking right at the point right now, and they're just going to give it to them, which is extremely weird.
One tick gone. They're being patient, and look, they let the Rhine shield break, and now they're able to rotate back. And the patience proved successful, and it was clean. But you have to think that, okay, so what? They do that 2 more times, and you've lost point A. You can't be that patient. You need to have somebody. Maybe if it's not your Rhine, maybe you can get your Lucio to touch the point from the side, you know? He's pretty slippery. Somebody's got to be a little bit more attentive there.
I mean, they're gradually going down. I mean, the first fight, it was 2 ticks, and this time it was just 1, so props to them for just doing it a little bit sooner. There's got to be a little bit quicker in this fight.
Here's a huge shatter from King Genius! All the team taken down. King Genius, showing that he is the substitute. He's not the substitute, he is the evolution. He's taking his team and he's putting them on his back right now.
Exactly. A massive slam from King Genius. Exactly what you want to see. They didn't have to invest any more ult than they needed to. Just the coalescence to keep the team in, and that big slam to win that. That is exactly what you want to see from your Reinhardt player. Making plays like that to win a fight, like, extremely easy.
And Ant, you know, kind of a little bit of a whimper with that shatter. Here's a dragon. Oh, it's looking like it's going to be a juicer in that room. They were able to weasel their way out of it, but Ant and Jellymaster in the corner. Not looking too hot. Raging Cool's opted to go onto the Hanzo as well. 50% on a combo. He's got about half a minute to do it. Could be enough time. If he's able to get some sneaky damage onto the tanks, definitely could build up a dragon, but he's opting to go onto the Echo, get somebody low. If Lilac gets a well-executed sound barrier, this game is going to be over right now. Here's the grab. He's going to catch the tanks. The pin as well. The grab to the same spot. Cheddar. And everybody's spinning around. Cheddar finds more, though, with a 4K. Make that 5. As they rotate onto the point, it wasn't enough. Perhaps they were just a little bit too eager with their ultimates. And just like that, the payload will be rolling. This is a tight series.
I mean, they had that, you know, like, they just both happened to invest ults, and it happened to be the Death Blossom that was bigger, and I guess only one, I'm assuming only one beat got off, or maybe they both got off, but one was too late, but Cheddar came out on top, getting 6 to get that point. Incredible play there from Kingdom Come to clutch it out, but now they're in an overtime scenario where they can't lose a single fight here.
Yeah, the payload is moving. They've got a long trek ahead of them, Kingdom Come. This is definitely an advantage for the side of Powerhouse. Lore finds one onto Raging Cool. Here's the shatter. It's going to find Mr. Steel kill. The healing is there, but no, it is not, as he actually does get picked. Giz finds another one. Looks like they're able to get the pests off the point, keep that precious thing moving, and we're going to be moving further and further along here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you lose your main tank like that early, I mean, it's just, what can you do, really? He just gets a free shatter going through, and I don't know, you had your support trying to touch point and contest, and it just snowballed from there, really. Just bad decisions from Powerhouse, but it's good to see that they're regrouping and waiting for that push instead of just trying to touch.
This is going to be a good opportunity for them to make a stop. King Genius has another shatter. Will he make another big game play? Shield's getting pretty low as it is. There it is. You saw Ant wasn't there to block it for his team. Is the damage going to come through, though? It looks like it is. And off the back of another huge shatter with Ant mispositioning again, it's going to look like this map is going to go to the side of Powerhouse. King Genius, not the substitution, but the evolution. Easy win for the side of Powerhouse, proving the strength behind their name.
King Genius with those 2 slams in this defense were absolute. It's exactly what you want to see. This is textbook Ryan play. I didn't even say one in textbook. This is, as you said, evolutionary Ryan play. It's exciting to see this stuff he just pulled out there. I mean, those big slams, able to see, hey, the Reinhardt's not there to protect this team. Looks like your team's not there anymore. What happened there? It's King Genius just making a fool out of Ant and their entire Kingdom Come on that Reinhardt. It's absolutely inspirational Ryan play. That is
inspirational.
Exactly, inspirational.
Quite the word. This is what your little bronze Reinhardts dream of. They say, I want to be like King Genius. I don't know why bronze players have a high octave voice, but in my mind they do. And with that, it's going to be 2-1 for the side of Powerhouse.
that Kings Row, it was incredibly close, but then you saw at the end, Powerhouse turned it on against, they finally pulled out the Ryan v Ryan, and Powerhouse were just able to pull it out, and they're like, hey, if we can force them on this Reinhardt, we can win this, you know. It basically seems like every time they play the Ryan v Ryan, it seems like they were able to pull out and come out on top. It's absolutely insane. That Kings Row defense there, incredible from Powerhouse. A massive props to them. Everybody on that team, Mr. Studio Kill, Laura, incredible plays coming out from their DPS, tanks, supports. It's incredible. It was an amazing map to watch. I definitely watch that again.
And you can over on the League Zero Twitch VODs. Be sure to check them out if you missed the stream, if you're just tuning in. Great stuff. This is going to be match point. Plain and simple. And Powerhouse continue the momentum. They're going to be looking pretty comfortable moving up in the brackets. All the Powerhouse and Kingdom Come supporters in the chat talking about how they know that Kingdom Come can come back from this. Cheering on Powerhouse's great plays. I'm sure that definitely the side of Kingdom Come, they're going to be scratching their heads after that one, thinking, what could we do better? I swear, guys, I'm carrying. Why are we losing? You know, all those, chalkboard talks that we're expecting to hear from. But it all plays out when we come back. And we're back. Overwatch Esports at its finest. You know what you're here for. The epic matchup. Powerhouse up 2-1 over Kingdom Come. That was a decisive last match. Although it started off close, once we got on the Rhine v Rhine, there was only one hero in our eyes, and that was King Genius. I'm joined by Duga.
Hello, hello. And adding on to that, King Genius, just talking about him puts a huge smile on my face. The man is absolutely insane on the hero, able to pick wind. He doesn't throw his shadows out there. He's very decisive, and it's more of like a processor. He's like, okay, I'm gonna wait for that perfect time, and then bam, it's a huge strike, and when it happens, oh man, is it a fight turner? It's so exciting to see.
And you know, that last one, as much as it was a big 5-man, and props to King by the reaction time, Ant was positioning way in nowhere land. He was way off to the side. I think he was fighting maybe a Lucio or a Sombra. I don't know what he was doing. He's got to remember, he's a main tank. He's not playing Winston anymore. He's got responsibilities. So, you know, we're moving on to a map, not a Reinhardt-friendly map. Will this tip the scales? Will King Genius be nerfed when not in the big German Crusader? Only time will tell. You're watching Overwatch League. Or sorry, you're watching League Zero.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to come down to first getting into that choke and then trying to get that blue box control. I mean, I know Fordel's very big on this map. His coach, he knows a lot about it, specifically this map when I've worked with him in the past. And, you know, I think Kingdom Come is more than prepared for the little strats and antics on this map than Powerhouse. Powerhouse trying to win on I guess it's just pure power, essentially, you know? I mean,
Rush B. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah, just rush B. I mean, Kingdom Come, I'd be surprised if they don't pull it out here. I mean, they've shown that they're superior on the dive, and Ryan's not really a factor here. So I mean, like, they have the clear advantage here. It just comes down to if they can pull it out here.
Looks like they're starting off with a little halt hook combo. It's not a big waste of time, and sometimes it works, so not a bad use. But they'll be swapping on to the dive quite predictably here as the payload starts to get rolling. You're going to see the side of Powerhouse now on the left side of the screen. They, in the blue, looking to play pretty far back, pretty safe, as Mr. Steel Kill is grossly mispositioned as Batman will take him off the map. You're going to see that Raging Cool on the Sombra is looking for a hack on the backside as everyone from the side of Powerhouse is forced to rotate back, like you said. You know, Kingdom Come very well rehearsed in this particular map, so they should see a lot of power here. Interestingly enough, that they have their Moira on the payload and not their Lucio. There they go. They are going to be rotating back down. Members from the side of Kingdom Come need to be grouping up here on their Winston. They have a Zarya too, which is a very interesting combo. It puts a lot of pressure on the Winston to take that damage. No Stereo Kill will find one on the Ant, though, as Kit finds the D.Va mech as well. King Genius on the Winston, showing that he is not just a one-trick as well. Great peel onto his high ground and protect his Ashe as Slaney finds a little nade to finalize this push here. Good job by the side of Powerhouse. Very reserved, very patient play.
I mean, that anti-nade on the tanks there from Slaney was absolutely massive. Her nades just so far are pretty insane. These antis, they have nothing. They really don't have anything to help with that. Batman's got to do a better job about eating those and looking out for that Ana.
Yeah, we're watching Laura being damage boosted from the high ground from Lilac. It's going to be very difficult for them to take him out. You're ready to see that Raging Cool is thirsting to try and get a pick. Here's his presence. They're trying to go all in at the same time. Here's the dive as well. The teleport is good. Lots of pressure onto that high ground, and it proved to be successful. Here's the big nade that you were talking about as well. Pixel Master is going to be pressured out, but unfortunately, the presence on the point is just not there for the side of Powerhouses. The tanks are taking out everyone that was tasked to stay on the payload. And that's the difficulty when you split your team up, when you have half the team in one place, half the team in the other, is that you don't... If you move your resources to one side, you're abandoning those non-mobile characters, and that's exactly what we saw happen there.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't even think the playing slow is to play here. I mean, Kingdom Come is just playing too fast to play that slow. I mean, you have to do something. You have an Ashe for a reason. You got to get that. You had an Ashe, but, like, you got to get a pick there. You got to get a pick on rotation. If you don't get any value with any picks of the Ashe, it's all for nothing essentially.
Yeah, and an entire character in the form of Mercy is being invested in your ability to pop off. Here's the EMP Diva Bomb combo. Nice job for hiding in the corner by Lilac, but it doesn't look like they will be able to escape. Ant is going to be hacked. Lots of hacks coming through, as I just glossed over the fact that Cheddar got a nice Death Blossom, with, of course, the aid of the Speed Boost and the EMP. It's pretty textbook stuff. Should be a nice, clean roll into the second checkpoint. Yes, it is, and it's kind of a speed run right now.
It's only been 3 fights, and that second point was just 1 fight there. Powerhouse has to do something. They have to make a stop. They have ultimates coming up. They got to make a move. But I mean, they have with Kingdom Come. They still have both supportals. They can still play it around it. And I don't know if Powerhouse has the ability to do that. And
I really don't love the Reaper pick here on the defense. If there's no payload to dance around, it's very hard with no cover. Here's the beat coming, though, from the offensive Powerhouse. They want to commit to this fight. Primal Rage is good as well, as you see the Coalescence going in the air to try and keep Ant up as he's brought really low. He's going to be backed up just a little bit here. Kit on the Zarya has not been performing to the level that we are expecting from him. He's only 35% to this grab, and that's really the ultimate that they could be using right now. Here's a nice boop, though. It's going to shut down Mr. Serial Kill's Death Blossom. He's going to be looking pretty silly doing his ballet in the corner by himself, as Slaney with the Coalescence is going to be doing a good job capitalizing on the tail end here, and Kit did a lot in that fight as well. You're going to see he's 80% now and counting to his Graviton Surge. But here's that combo we were afraid of. Is becoming so prevalent here, is that Death Blossom, EMP, Speed Boost. They have it again. Lots of open space, so it should be easy enough to avoid. And as I say that, King Genius is going to be going back to his signature Reinhardt. He's done playing around. Yeah,
I mean, getting on that Reinhardt is a good pick. I mean, I was wondering why they had the Zarya there over the Diva. I mean, if you have that Blossom's going to get so much value if you don't have that Diva. But, I mean, now that they have that Reinhardt, I can see what they're going.
Here it is. Here's the bomb. They EMP'd maybe a bit late, but there was enough cover anyways, as King Genius quickly falls. That's the character that they want to be building around. Here's the EMP. He's trying to compensate even though their main tank is done. But Kit, he's got enough energy, and he was able to take up enough players before falling himself. It would seem, just as I say that, though, Ant is getting away with a sliver of health, and Laura will be able to find it before he's able to get to the health back. They see that Cheddar's got the Death Blossom. They have the information. They just need to make sure that they have some clean Overwatch here. Under 3 minutes remaining.
Yeah, I mean, that EMP from Raging Cool just came in a little bit late. There wasn't really much value they could get out of it. I mean, they feel like they were almost in the room, and so they couldn't really get any value.
Yeah, here's some early ultimates. You're going to see Coalescence and the grab. Nice little cleanup. They did use their best ultimate, arguably, in the grab. Maybe EMP is a little bit better, but they want to fight. Perhaps a little disappointingly, because when you win fights, you want to win them slowly. You want to burn off time as defense, and that fight was over so quickly. Everybody on the side of Kingdom Come knew that this was fight is okay, it's lost. Just respawn, try again. So they didn't buy too much time, and now they don't have to worry about that grab. So really, I think advantage in this particular push is going to the side of Kingdom Come. King Genius has that shatter. He just hacked, though. It's going to be forced back. Here's a defensive sound barrier. Here's Mr. Serial Kill in the back. He's able to find two with the bubble from the side of Kit, able to help him out in that instance. Late Primal Rage from Ant, never a good decision. He is able to get out, but he took a lot of damage in the process, and now you really got to be questioning this odd Winston-Zarya combo that the side of Kingdom Come is running.
I mean, I certainly am questioning it. I'm not even sure if they're playing that Reinhardt, I'm not sure you can get much value on Winston because there's no high ground for you to cover. You kind of just have to force to run into them with a Winston against a Reinhardt, which we almost know that it's
double
not going
EMP.
to go well.
Everybody's hacked here, and it looks like the defense from the side of Powerhouse is going to just be fine. They got their EMP off second. Everybody's chilling. They've got the defensive advantage. But, you know, they finally swap on to the Reinhardt. Good job from Ant there. And you know, as good as Winston is, with Zarya, he doesn't do enough capitalizing damage up against the heals of Lucio and Moira there. Look at this. Raging Cool is seeing that King Genius is flanking around the side. Could be caught out. Here's a big grab. It's going to catch 3 or 4 of them in it. And Mr. Serial Kill is there with the damage. He's right next to him, exactly where he needs to be. He's prepared for these grabs. The communication is clearly on point. And once he's able to just get within an inch with the barrel to their faces, it's all the follow-up you need.
I mean, Ant pushed all so far away from his team there, and with that Lucio, which just left a huge opening for that grab, and he got so much value, and Kid got so much value. It's, I don't know, Ant's just playing aggressive and on a different level in his team.
The play that just ran out there that failed, Mr. Kill was ready for Death Blossom, and you saw that Raging Kill was trying to prepare to hack it because he saw he was there, but the bubble was good enough to give him some damage, but unfortunately the damage was not good enough. Pixel Master finding the tail end kill there. Overtime soon. Here's a pin. They're both going to fall down as King Genius is going to get hacked. That's going to make him feel pretty unwell. Lots of damage coming in from the backline as Mr. Steel kills on his signature tracer. He's done big clutch plays on this hero before. As I say that, the front line is being pushed back. Here's a shatter going to be blocked by King Genius. Actually, the kit fell, but the follow-up, is it there? Here's the pin all the way into the back. Ant has found himself in the back corner. And with that, it looks like the space has been created. It's just a bit of a stagger right now. Slaney is still on the point. Kill is going to be the last one as he eventually does fall. And in overtime, they're able to turn it around, but couldn't be any closer.
I mean, I think this the first 2 points were rolling. Once they found that, okay, we finally got him in a choke. We finally have him to our advantage. Powerhouse was able to stall a bunch of time, but that Blossom there, that grab Blossom was incredibly massive. A good play coming in from there, but it just, I don't know. It looks like when it gets to that third point, it's gonna Powerhouse clearly has that advantage. But what I'm worried about is these first two. How Powerhouse is gonna manage to get through these two. I mean, we've seen that they've just got rolled. They had 3 fights in these first 2 points, and they were not close. They only won one, and that was they only won one in the very beginning, and that's just I got no idea how. I'm really worried. If I were a Powerhouse fan right now, I'd be extremely worried.
Yeah, you know, they started off strong. They had a, like you said, it was a decisive round. But that Ashe, I believe it was Laura on the Ashe, didn't deliver for him, and they were essentially down 2 players. You know, Ashe and the Mercy, they were just trying to stay alive. They weren't inflicting any damage. The dive was too strong, and you really can't afford to give up 2 players on your team and the presence and the damage they provide by not connecting with your shots. So I don't think they'll be trying that strat again. Here we are watching Powerhouse on the Reinhardt. Here's the teleport. They're like, hey, Reinhardt can't jump up walls. Let's just teleport him up where he needs to be. Optimum strategy for this Reinhardt player, building around him, knowing that he can deliver if he's just given the space that he needs. And while all this is happening, of course, you've got Lore on the point doing a good job. I'd probably think that he would probably do not better somewhere up here, but someone's got to push the point. Little rotation now. Eventually, they're going to realize that the payload's moving for free and give them that high ground. Here's the Coalescence. It looks like they aren't actually trying to give it up, so they're sent the Sombra to try and contest the payload in the time being. Here it is. As expected, they are going to sacrifice the high ground, and look at this. Cheddar was caught out. He didn't rotate where his team was rotating, and King Genius is going to commit onto the low ground with his team all rallying behind him. I love this strategy from this team. Here's a grab late in the fight as well. Here's the beat as well. All these ultimates forced out super late. Death Blossom as well. Just steal a kill. Able to find a few, and Kit on the back end finds a few more picks. This is the kind of steamroll that they need. They need to be able to push the attack, not let anyone do that mental reset as Pixel Masters find himself in an awkward position on the high ground. Needs to get away. Nice little fade jump there to get across. All the dive tanks in a little cheeky of a spot now. They're able to get a hack onto Cheddar. That could be a good pick. Bubbles have been really good as well to trying to negate the hacks. Unfortunately, he used the bubble to get the hack on his Lucio. Didn't have it for his Reinhardt. And while this push is happening, this might be where the tables turn, because if they aren't able to get through this door before it closes, this is the hardest choke to get through. Oh, looks like they won't. This might be where a lot of the time is going to be gone and wasted.
Yeah,
Hey, Shadow, though! What am I talking about? Here it is! Demon Bomb as well! A little pirouette to try and push them back, and this could have been a play that they could have turned everything around, but the defense of Demon Bomb from Batman was there. Great read on the situation after that shatter. Maybe he did it before the shatter. It's hard to say, but they are going to be able to hold it back. I think that was going to be the only chance he had to land a good shatter. Being on the Reinhardt now, going through these tiny chokes would be absolutely a waste of time. Back on the Winston makes sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, that shatter was big when they really just... I feel like it was kind of like... it looked like it wasn't communicated. He kind of just popped in. Maybe he saw an opening and he couldn't really think of it. But, I mean, it's good to see these spots of the Monkey finally Maybe he can actually, he's got some confidence in him. Maybe he can actually, the Powerhouse can actually make something happen with this Winston here.
I'm sniffing an EMP in this tiny room. Awkward place for it to be pushed off, but they should have the follow-up. You saw a great pincer attack there. They had the Winston coming from the high ground. They attacked him from both ends. Moira healing is so strong in that room with the coalescence there. Really a well-executed play, and very questionable positioning by the defense. Why would they all group up into such a tiny room? They must not be paying attention to the ultimates.
Yeah, I mean, Kingdom Come is just coming up. Powerhouse is coming out with all kinds of surprises here. They got the...
Oh. Sorry to interrupt the Ant. He tried to get through, but the body block from the tanks of Powerhouse was too good. He actually used his primal to try and burst his way through that upper left door, but just wasn't successful. And now he doesn't have that primal to work with anymore. He's going to jump off the cliff. He's probably going to make a swap, I'd see, probably out of frustration. That'd be my prediction, but that's not a good look for the side of Kingdom Come, and there it is. There's a swap onto the Reinhardt. I'm sure King Genius will follow suit after this primal.
Yeah, I'm expecting that as well, but King Powerhouse is definitely delivering on this dive, and Reinhardt, I'm surprised to see it on first point as well. They're full of surprises, and they're making things work, and honestly, I love that about them here.
Badman eats the grab. That's a big play. That's the second grab we've seen eaten this match. Here's King Genius making a big play with the Winston. He's smacking everybody into his back line. He's putting them everywhere where they don't want to be. Ant is so low, but the heals are good from Pixel Master. He's able to get out by the skin of his teeth. And Cheddar finds a nice little three-piece at the tail end. He'll fall, but he did build up his Death Blossom in the process. This is going to be the fight where everything is going to be coming into question. Both teams now running the Reinhardt. They've got all the ultimates that they could need on the side of the defense, but they also have the same type of ultimates on the offense. Here's the bomb. Will it be the EMP? Yes, it is. Boom! That's both tanks. That's going to take them out nice and cleanly. Everyone from the side of Powerhouse forced to back up. Nice, clean little fight. Two sneaky little ultimates. You'd have to think, at least for me, because, you know, I'm never too impressed. Maybe they could have gotten away with just hacking the Reinhardt, save their EMP. That's what I'm thinking. That fight did end really quick for just two ultimates. They want to be wasting time, but 3 minutes to work with. They're going to be having to hope that they are able to make these fights last a really long time. Meanwhile, while this is happening, Mr. Steel Kill is on the back high ground. Here's a big Shatter coming out from Ant. Is it going to connect? It is, and Shatter finds the cleanup. But as I say that, there's another one in the back from Mr. Steel Kill. It's 2 for 2 right now, but unfortunately for the side of Powerhouse, they are forced back. Didn't have the healing alive to keep this fight present, but they might be able to regroup a little bit faster. We might see them get around this corner if they're quick.
Yeah, I mean, the EMP bomb, I feel like that just fight went by too fast to invest 2 ultimates. I mean, yeah, you won the fight, but you want to be stalling that time when you really just didn't do that. You know, you got to stretch these fights out.
Yeah, there's the EMP. Coalescence as well. King Genius will find the pick onto Ant. He's going to fall in turn as well. You saw that actually everybody from the side of Powerhouse turned their attention onto the Reaper in their backline, and the Coalescence healing fell off of their Reinhardt, and he was quick to fall as well. Very difficult to focus targets with this. Everybody running around. You want to focus with your Reapers attacking, but at the same time, you want to focus with your Reinhardt's attacking because he's got even less range. As Batman, the Diva player here for Kingdom Come, is going to call for a pause.
I mean, like, if you look at what Kingdom Come is doing, they're doing a great job of controlling that high ground when they can, and really because Powerhouse swapped off that, they don't have a Diva, they have a Ryan Zarya, they can't really take advantage, they can't really check that high ground, or they can't really take advantage of it. They got to find some new pathing. They're kind of right now going into them and then Kingdom Come is just basically collapsing on them, you know, and they don't know what to do. It's honestly, I expected this. This is the complete opposite of what I expected. It was a roll first 2 points for Powerhouse, and then now they're getting stopped when it comes to the Rhine. It's a bit. I really don't know. I mean, they are close to Kingdom Come is close to an EMP here, and they do have that Diva bomb. So I am honestly, again, I'm worried again for Powerhouse here.
It's such a difficult task climbing up that hill. King Genius is quickly act. He's going to retreat to the Mega Room. Here's the grab, though. They tried to back up, do a little flip it around. Reapers both finding a pick. Here's a big Shatter from King Genius. Bomb as well. Is it going to connect? It is not. Another hack. It's just crazy how Sombra can hack the Reinhardt on the ground from that high ground. It's really quite so damaging. but somehow King Genius, his healers, are keeping him alive throughout this fight. Lore swapped onto the McCree. Having that flashbang for the Sombra is going to be very helpful here. As Raging Cool has that EMP, this is going to be the game decider. Here it is. Nice flashbang! It's going to shut it down completely! Shatter comes out with the Death Blossom, though. Is not able to connect on too many. Just has the one. The Shatter comes out for Mantis. It's going to get everyone on the floor, but Slaney is going to stay alive with the Coalescence TP. Everybody up as Mr. Steal a Kill finds another 2! Is this going to be enough to turn this fight around? The respawns are there. Hack comes onto Slaney. Raging Cool getting free hacks from the high ground as well with the long hack fingernails, as Sombra does, constantly resetting. No one is able to touch him. Mr. Steal Kill finds a nice 2K in the spawn door. Here's the pin. It's going to connect on Mr. Steal Kill. That's a lot of the damage gone. They just need to get these last few red players off the point here, as Mr. Steal Kill will eventually fall as Lore switches onto the Soldier and gets a nice couple picks. Here's the grab in the spawn door. And with that, they're both going to make it to the end, and Powerhouse, who were looking in such a terrible spot, are actually going to have the time advantage because they made up so much time in those first 2 stages.
I just want to say, every time I say I'm scared for Powerhouse, they somehow pull it through, and then they just surprise me, and it is insane. That flashbang from Laura, canceling that EMP, that was so incredibly massive for Powerhouse. It totally turned the tide into their favor, and with that, I think they just gave them, not only are they down EMP, Powerhouse has a huge surge in confidence that they are going to win that fight, and they do. And that Kree swap was absolutely massive.
I'm at a loss for words. Laura has been really intelligent with his swaps. He swaps onto the McCree. Boom. Flashbang. Shuts down the EMP. Was that planned? You know, you can't exactly say, but having it in his arsenal, obviously Raging Cool was not prepared for it. Finds himself getting picked. He's done his job. Switches onto the Soldier. Gets there fast. Gets those last 2 picks that he needs. Puts down the healing station. He's got a great sensibility about swapping heroes, and it's making the difference in the 4th quarter every single time.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's just really close right now. Kingdom Come pulling out all kinds of stops, but I mean, Powerhouse is pulling out all kinds of stops and these impressive strategies, and Kingdom Come just playing their textbook play. You know, it's really just exciting to see.
All right, here's the teleport. Kingdom Come on the high ground. A little bit of a matchup here. Difference being Lore's on the McCree. He's on that Sombra duty. Looks like they're going to opt to rotate down. They want to force... never mind. It was just a little bit of a fake out. Everybody's going to the high ground here, but King Genius finds one on the Cheddar. Are they going to try and capitalize on the back of that pick? It looks like the side of Kingdom Come are going to respect that they've lost the man and give up some space. But in doing so, look at this. They've actually baited everybody from the side of Powerhouse off the precious high ground. And it's going to take a little bit of time for some of these less mobile players to reset. Actually, they're not going to reset. They're just going to stay down. They've realized that they've given up their high ground in a bad spot, and now they're forced to play down low. Mr. Steel Kill is going to find one on Ant, though. He was just a little bit too invested. They're able to play in this little room on the left. Coalescence is good. Everybody's lined up. The heals is good. This would be a really, really bad place for the payload to stop. If you're on the side of Kingdom Come, High Noon is good from Laura. Nobody can touch the point. Great zoning. Here's Ant on the Wrecking Ball. He needs to come in clutch here. Raging Cool has the EMP, but he dies before he's able to use it. Doesn't look like anyone's going to be able to get there in time as the Primal Rage comes out to make sure. Great stuff from the side of Powerhouse. And, will we see some Bastion? Will we see some, cheeky stats? Now that they know that they only have to push it a small distance, they can really rewrap their brain about how to approach it because they know what their goal is. I would be really not too surprised if they did try some different stuff.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they whipped out a Sim Bastion or something like that, that Reinhardt TP. I wouldn't be surprised if they just use a teleporter real quick. Like, they're going to pull out some weird thing, and I'd be surprised if they try to see if they pull out the dive, because, I mean, they could do it, but, I mean, it's really got to come down to if you can get those ults, and it looks like they're going to be doing that same thing again, but I think they're going to be prepared for it. On the side of Kingdom Come, they're playing that Rhine Sigma. They're trying to be prepared for that Rhine TP there.
Yeah, it's exactly as expected. We've got the TP, getting him on the high ground, winning the high ground, then rotating down. Last time it happened, Cheddar mispositioned his rotation. He rotated forwards. The rest of the team rotated back. That was a free pick. That let them roll. They have to make sure that if they're going to give up the high ground, they're going to compromise the high ground to the attackers, that they rotate as a unit. That's why they lost last time around. Now, if they play close, that Sim gets full charge. It's going to be a pretty quick game. It's all going to be on who's going to get more value, the Sim or the Sigma. Here's the TP. People are going to fall down. Did not connect. It looks like they might swap off the Sim entirely. They are playing on the low ground here. They want to play this cactus-style comp. They say, hey, you come to me. We've got the Zarya. We don't have the range. But if you come to us, we're going to have the superior damage over the Sigma. And finds a nice snipe, though, on a Mr. Steel kill. If they're smart, they'll respect that death and do a complete rotation out, and they do. As I say that, though, Kit and King Genius both going to fall on the tail end. Looking pretty good for the side of Kingdom Come. Less than a minute remaining here. This is match point. Remember, folks, if a Powerhouse win it, they win this series.
Yeah, it's really a lot on the line. All they need to do is win that one fight. And if they do that, it's theirs. The series is theirs, but it just comes down to ultimates here. They gotta be fast because they gotta make up for those deaths they got later in the fight.
And has just shattered. There it is. It's going to find Kit, and the damage is actually there. Everybody needs to get out quick, if they want to have another fight. Here's a Fire Strike doesn't connect. Giz finds a lot of picks on the tail end. And look at this. I'm suspecting a Sig 9. Batman, he's close to his Gravitic Flux, and maybe the roof is too low, but this could be a game-winning ultimate if it's placed correctly. King Genius, he has the shatter, but it's very hard to shatter into 2 shields. It's going to be all about it. Here it is. They're in the air. Is someone going to be able to touch? It looks like they are. High Noon coming in from the back, though. Raging Cool finds one of the lore. Here's a shatter, but it's not good enough as he falls down, and just like that, Kingdom Come take us to map 5.
In an intense series, that last point, that last fight, they were ready for that Reinhardt duel. They were like, okay, this guy, they're not gonna be dumb enough to do that TP again, and they were ready for it, and they did it, and I guess they were expecting them to go to the Winston again, but I think Kingdom Come was just thinking 2 steps ahead of them. Incredible stuff coming in from Kingdom Come here. Like, they played that so well. Like, the High Noon from that high ground right there, just getting them zoned in where they have to push into the team, plus that Flux getting them all, like, in that same area. They have to turn their attention from two different angles, and it was... Kingdom Come played that so well. They had that right in their hands, and they played it like they wanted to. Amazing how they pulled it out right there.
Yeah. I'm starting to remember why I took a huge break from casting. My voice does not like these map 5 matchups. It's going to be... But, of course, you have to think, you know what? Would I want terrible games and a happy voice or awesome Overwatch? And you got to think that this is such an awesome game. I'm already connected with the storylines behind these teams. I want to see how far they go. I'm not even thinking about this next match. I'm thinking about where they're going to be further down to the road. I hope that we can see these two match up again. Maybe they'll be finalists. We don't know. We both think they're playing pretty well, but that's just the thing about it being so early in the tournament. These two might be the worst in this bracket. But one thing's for sure is that they're pretty evenly matched.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't think that they're the 2 worst teams. I mean, they're definitely pulling out some big guns here. Like King Genius. It just feels like Powerhouse has to force that Rhine, and even then, like, Kingdom Come, Powerhouse just forcing Rhine and trying to, like, brutally stomp them, but Kingdom Come doesn't really play around their Rhine, they more play around everybody, and I feel like Powerhouse just seems like they're relying on tanks to carry with a bit of lore, trying to, like, EMP, but I feel like it's a lot more contributing from Kingdom Come, but Powerhouse, I feel like with Powerhouse, the tank gap is wide, but everything else is more in the favor of Kingdom Come there, and it's interesting. I'm excited for this last map. We're going to Busan here, and it's Control. Last time they played Control, Powerhouse took the dub. Maybe Kingdom Come has a few strats on Busan here. Hopefully, let's see what they can do.
This could go either way. We're going the distance. Will we go to a map 5 round 3 on Busan? Just based on how things are going, I'd say probably. We've definitely got a lot more Overwatch in store when we come back. From the break, Powerhouse versus Kingdom Come. It is 2-2. Match point. You won't want to miss it. Welcome back. Overwatch League 0. This is the advanced match between Powerhouse, Kingdom Come, both 0-0 right now as the tournament is just getting started. But man, this has been a great opening matchup here. Already on map 5, we're going to be going to Busan. The power has gone back and forth all series long. First, it looked like it was Kingdom Come. Powerhouse came with a big, strong rebuttal. And just in this last map on Gibraltar, Kingdom Come just was able to get the edge off over the counterpart in a really incredible first point defense as we head over to Mecha Base.
Yeah, I mean, this matchup earlier today is just incredible. It's been win after win, you know, each one taking a map off each other, and this is the final straw. You know, anything can happen here. You know, I'm excited to see Mecha Base, a popular Rhine map, and as we've seen, you know, the Rhine v Rhine is all. I mean, Ant recently pulled it together and was able to beat them in the Rhine v Rhine at the very end of Gibraltar, but normally King Genius has Ant in over it, has a bit Ant is playing Ant basically like a fiddle here, you know, taking advantage of wherever he's going, and we're seeing a little bit of a different composition, different strategies from both teams here.
Powerhouse on the left, and Kingdom Come on the right. Double Shield and May versus Ryan Zarya and Doomfist. I'm personally a big fan of the Doomfist. Lots of walls for people to be hit up against here. But if you have a good Sigma player, it's going to be all the difference making. There's a nice rock on a Mysterio kill. As we watch Kid, look at this big flanking presence. He's already getting all the way around, creating that space. Mysterio kill finds one onto Ant. That should open this fight wide open here. This Mysterio kill is well into the back line, forcing everybody back, and good efforts there from the side of Powerhouse, sending someone onto the point quickly. Are they able to get back onto the high ground and stop before they're able to come through the choke? Not quite. They're going to be able to rotate on. It's all going to be defense, defense, defense now. Here's a nice wall. King Genius is in a tricky spot. Is he going to be able to get out of this one? Here's the pin. Does not connect. Coalescence coming out as a shatter comes out from Ant. He's able to shut this fight down. Really well executed from him as they turn the point over.
Yeah, that shatter came out from Ant came out really fast, you know? It was just, they were able to isolate King Genius, and then they were able to, and then he was just able to quickly just shatter everybody else, like, you know, almost unexpected, you know? And it's just like, you know, if I can't get a shatter through this guy, I gotta take him out, then I can go get it through. You know, but...
Yeah, and Mr. Steel Kill, even Death Blossom just didn't find any value. Here's the EMP. Point flips. Sound Barrier comes out as a defensive measure. Here's the counter Sound Barrier as well. Looking good for the side of Powerhouse. They did swap the point. They were a little slow to the foot there from the side of Kingdom Come. Mr. Steel Kill finds another. Raging Cool on the May. He's just looking to jump off the map at this point, and it's really a difficult situation to be in where you lose the point because you weren't quick enough to rotate, and then you use ult. Your best already have a disadvantage, and you're ulting reactively. You want to be proactive on King of the Hill. It's all about who has the most aggression that isn't punished. Here's a nice defense here. They swapped onto the Sombra a little while ago, not playing that Doomfist anymore. Mr. Steel Kill looking to find the damage from the counter side as they rotate around. Nice wall. Will it be enough? Big shatter, huge from the side of King Genius. Everybody on the floor. Grab for good measure as well as shatter spins around inside. King Genius is going to find himself a pin as well onto Batman. And just as it looked like they might have had a chance with that quick rotation, they were not fast enough for King Genius's shatter.
Yeah, as I said before, King Genius looking for these opportunities, and it's amazing how his brain works. Just like Ant playing really aggressive, thinking, we got this, Ryan. He's walled. Let's just guard down a little bit, and then that's when King Genius strikes, and that's what I love so much about it.
Here's the Flux. King Genius is in the air. Big shatter as well. Great combo from the two tanks. Here, Skiz finds a nice little final blow. Pixel Master is getting himself in the mix as well. This is definitely going to be a flip here. And they use both tank ults to make it happen, but, you know, if you're the side of Powerhouse, you've got that special little Death Blossom EMP combo. As long as you're quick and you don't dilly-dally, make sure that you get this fight done fast. Those guys aren't going to have any ultimate still, and you could make a nice, easy round one cap.
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like investing both tank ults wasn't very smart. I mean... You're just trying
the EMP again, Mr. Serial Kill with a 4K. What? How did that even happen? It must have been the flashbang from Raging Cool, but It wasn't enough.
Popping up before I can finish my thought. The fight was over before it even began. I don't even think they EMP'd until like late after that Blossom. That was incredible that he was able to do that. An incredible fight winner. But as I said, you invested both tank ults earlier, and you didn't really have a win con. You basically had to make sure you had to make sure that you had to play around their ults. You know, you had to plan around it, but they really just didn't do that, and that just caused them to lose the fight. You know.
That was a whole bunch of things. I thought the EMP being canceled was going to be like, wow, huge play. Kingdom Come, they've got this. But unfortunately, they didn't even need the EMP, man. It's just a great speed boost. Yeah, go ahead.
I was wondering what happened to the EMP. Like, it didn't even go off because there was no assist in the kill feed.
Raging Cool flashbang did.
Yeah, impressive stuff from Raging Cool, but the team did forget about the other thing. You know, Mr. Steelio kill with that massive Blossom.
Yeah, unfortunately, the flashbang's only good for one stun. And here's a little hack on King Genius. Forced into the corner. Nice Winston bubble placement. It's going to be very difficult for the team to keep the healing up. King Genius was going to quick to fall. Obviously, a focus target of theirs. Once he's gone, it makes it very difficult for anyone else on that team to get anything done. Nice early cap here from the side of Kingdom Come. They're trying to respond back to the pressure that King Genius and Powerhouse behind him have been putting on. Looking at this, though, I'd have to think that Ryan is a difficult choice for this map.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, if you look at those hacks winning from Raging Cool and that EMP charge already like 85%, he's going to have it by this next fight, and so they have to have a plan for that.
Moving into this fight, rotating onto the back line. Good speed boost. Didn't connect on anything, though. Here's the EMP in the back, assisted by the Coalescence. This is going to be a really good fight to win. They're winning it, and it's a slow fight, too. That was a pretty good one. They waited for them to overcommit, baited them in, took their time, and then capitalized them. That's the stuff that they're going to win this matchup with if they keep up.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to get them all grouped up, trying to think, okay, we got this. We're going to push in. Okay, this guy's out of position. Then when you least expected, that EMP Coalescence combo is just absolutely nuts. And the rate Raging Cool is building these EMPs, I'm sure definitely it's going to be incredibly one-sided.
Here it is. Their engagement again. They're going this long distance. Here's the Death Blossom. Doesn't connect. Diva Bomb way too high in the air. Cheddar finds himself too and gets a nice boop off the map to Mr. CEO kill. It's all over the place though. This is really not a very clean fight at all from the side of Powerhouse. They've got a couple ults to work with, but this map just does not favor the Reinhardt. They're able to out-rotate him. Like you said before, the hacks are easy on this map. They really have their backs against the wall. It might even be a 100-0 if they don't get a perfect push here.
Yeah, Powerhouse really needs to make something happen, but they did get that bubble out early, which is a good sign, what you want to see. He does have that shatter as well, so exciting things to see.
Here's the grab. Both tanks, no follow-up. Really good beat from the side of Gist. Mr. CEO kill gets nothing and nobody touches. So just as I thought, they might be good at this comp, but the map just didn't call for it.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I thought I saw a pretty good shatter opportunity there from King Genius, but I guess they called for the grab, but still, I don't think Ryan was to play there at all. I mean, they were just easy. They didn't even manipulate high ground. They just manipulated positioning, that it was all Somber really that just shut down that Reinhardt.
They grabbed and they had the Death Blossom for the follow, but the Diva wasn't out of mech, and they saved the defense matrix. Very good job from the side of Batman, able to eat all that up. The Reinhardt went straight to point, or at least attempted to, was getting zoned out by, I believe, the Lucio. So they didn't have the Reinhardt to follow up the damage onto the grab. Reinhardt's a really important grab follow-up because, of course, his damage cannot be negated by the defense matrix, and it just didn't work out, and now we're on the final round. They're really giving us a show here.
Yeah, I don't know about this Ryan pick. I mean, I could be wrong here. This is a different map than City Center, but I don't know. Anything is possible here.
Rotating, it's very interesting to see them play by that Mega. I've not seen fights really develop there very often. Powerhouse has the strength. If they play in these close quarters, they're on the right comp. Actually, I don't mind it for this map because there's a little bit of cover with the drama on the map and the posts around that overhang. So there are opportunities for Reinhardt to recharge his shield, and he doesn't have to cross any big gaps, but they should still be advantage, I believe, for the side of Kingdom Come, because they've got that EMP.
I mean, yeah, but I feel like if they don't play in open space, they should be fine. But again, that Raging Bull just builds that EMP so fast. You know, it's really...
Here's a huge shatter again by King Genius! That looked like a 5k, bringing his 5k totals, I think, up to 3. A little bit of a squat, a little bit of a teabag there. Joy winning that fight on the back of the ult from the Shatter and the Coalescence, but it's really kind of just the Shatter because the enemy team Coalescence as well. And with that, another round gone, or push gone, 40% and counting here.
That Shatter is absolutely massive. You know, the Reinhardt actually working out this time.
Again! Batman does it again! Here's the beat. They're trying to aggress. The Diva Bomb looks good. It's in the back, but of course they have the cover. Shatter finds one on the King Genius. Shatter finds another on the other tank there as Pixel Master takes out his counterpart and Slaney. Lore gets one before he's brought down. And, you know, Lilac is going to do his best to try and stall this out. It's 60% when his team's died. Let's see how much he individually is going to be able to stall up. He's already gotten 5%. And with the turning over the time there, it might even be up to 9%. Pretty good stuff by him. As they look to rotate again, 70% for the side of Powerhouse.
That grab eat was absolutely insane, and they decided to take that momentum and go like, you know what, we can actually have a fight here, and they played that great. The Diva Bomb to try and isolate that Reinhardt, and, you know, just to push in with him that beat, just even you had it to aggress, and it was just beautiful the way Kingdom Come played it.
Look at this. They're holding up here. There's the EMP. There's the Death Blossom. I was about to ask, I wonder why they're holding so up close, but obviously it's because they wanted to bottle them up for this nice follow-up, and well done. Now that they don't have that combo, I wouldn't be suspecting Kingdom Come to hold on that upper drum because they don't want to be in a tight space. I think it would make more sense if they were playing far away from the point, making the Reinhardt over-rotate. We'll have to see if they bait them through that way and then, you know, calculatedly back off. Looks like they didn't even decide to go that way. The side of Powerhouse is going completely around the opposite side. They didn't like being bottled up before. Here's a hack on a King Genius. Coalescence is coming out from both sides. High Noon in the back. Nice boop, though. It's going to push him way back. The High Noon is still going. It doesn't able to connect on the Primal Rage Winston, and this fight is taking a long time to resolve. Looking very good for the side of Kingdom Come. This fight needs to resolve right now for the side of Powerhouse.
Yeah, I mean, Powerhouse, I mean, just King Genius getting isolated by that Winston, you know, and actually playing the Winston versus Ryan and being like, yeah, you know, I got this. I don't need to play Ryan to beat this guy. You know, and it's insane, but...
Shatter just catches Ant. He blocks it for the rest of his team. Here's the beat as well. They've got the Diva Bomb to work with, and the shield is low. Here's the grab as well. Diva Bomb is right there. King Genius falls. Cheddar is going to find one, and he's going to get booped, but it looks like it's good enough. It's 95%. This might be what everyone was doubting. Kingdom Come, have they done it? In the final map, the final round, yes, they have, although Powerhouse has had so much strength. Looks like Kingdom Come was just a little bit more refined at the end of the day, and they went the distance. Powerhouse definitely had them in the middle of the series, but they turned it around strong. Good stuff from both these teams. Interested to see how they fare further in the tournament, but Powerhouse are your winners. Here's that Death Blossom we were talking about before, and interesting that it got so much value because Batman was there with a kinetic grasp. He must have not been aiming it perfectly or was too far away.
Yeah, I don't know about the Ryan pick trying to force it. I mean, it worked out. It didn't work. They got completely rolled on that city there, and just Reinhardt, albeit he does play a really good Reinhardt, but the maps didn't favor it for him to force it. I mean, they even on Sanctuary, the Winston was Ant just played it so well trying to isolate King Genius there. He really turned it up with that Winston play, and they played that pretty well. I have to hand it to them. You know, they played it smarter, and you know they deserved to win that map. You know, well played.
Well played indeed. Looks like there's going to be an interview with one of our champions from the side of Kingdom Come. Ooh, I'd hate to be on Powerhouse right now. They had such a good streak going for them, but and it looked like they had the edge. In the entire second half, it was all Powerhouse. But Kingdom Come with a really silent return, a little silent creep, and of course they had that 100-0 on City Center. That can't be overlooked.
Yeah, Kingdom Come just played it. I think the map favored was in their favor. You know, it was mostly dive. They had that one Rhine map that they just can't really do much on. But King Genius, they really got to perfect the Powerhouse. Really got to perfect that Winston comp because that's what's going to be played a lot. And Kingdom Come plays that extremely well. It's what they do best, you know. And Kingdom Come played that. You know, you can't really bring a sword to a gunfight. You know, that's kind of what Powerhouse tried to do, and it didn't really work out. Kingdom Come, for massive props to them. They're everybody on their team just played insane. The Gized with the, I think Gized building like a really quick beats, and you know, Cheddar actually popping off. Honestly, Cheddar was insane today. He was really impressive from Kingdom Come. You know, massive Reaper plays. You know, massive hands of Cheddar, and Ant being able to turn it up last second.
That man ate 2 grabs. Those were big. Of course, Kit even ate a grab when he was on the Diva. A lot of grabs being eaten. I wouldn't expect 3 in one tournament or one series.
Yeah, I mean, like 3 grabs eaten in one series. You know, Batman popped off with that Diva, you know, actually being able to shut down that Zarya. And, you know, Kit's got to be a bit more unpredictable with those grabs. I mean, like, it's been a long series. You know, everyone's probably tired. Probably didn't really think about it as much. But, you know, you just got to be prepared for it. And, you know, Batman was prepared for it, you know. And it's insane. Like, the flicks he does, his Diva is incredible. He really showed, and it really showed in this last map. You know, the fight wins that should have been for Powerhouse were just shut down because of Batman. It's
all right. Welcome, Pixel Master. Congratulations on this win. It was quite the exhausting series to watch. You guys went the distance and proved in the end that you guys had what it took. So you were a little bit more refined, a little less sloppy. Let's talk about this match. Tell me about the highs. Tell me about the lows.
So the lows, mainly our Rhine comp. It needed a lot of work. We didn't really know how to play with our Rhine. It led to him dying a lot. But like our heights, especially on our Shadow Dive, which is Reaper Sombra, at our peak, that was like really good.
Yeah, you guys were rotating really well. Ant was staying alive quite well. When you guys, it seems like that was the comp that you guys have practiced the most. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's the one we play like pretty much all the time.
And when the map favored it, Powerhouse really had nothing they could do. They were trying to make something else work, like we talked just recently about Busan City Center. They were trying to force Reinhardt on a map that really they should have been trying to mirror you guys, and they basically just fed right into your hands that 100-0. Did you know after that 100-0 that you were going to win this series?
We got a little worried after they capped, like at first on the 3rd round, but after we capped it back, we knew we were going to win.
Yeah, absolutely. It was, the cards were not in your favor. That was a very challenging Gibraltar defense. It took a lot of patience. Everyone needed to be really refined. You were playing in a really tight space, and you know, you guys had the edge. I want the fans to get to know the team a bit more. Obviously, really good communication. Who is the big shot caller on the team?
Oh, it's Ant, by far. He does so much, it's kind of crazy.
All right, Winston player. He's got the big brain. It all works out, all makes sense. And you guys, tell me a little bit of what your practicing is like. Do you guys scrim all the time? Do you try a lot of different compositions? Do you play in comp together? How much have you guys been practicing for this?
So we scrim like pretty much every day, and we play comp sometimes, but it's mostly just Ann and a couple of the people that want to queue.
Yeah, we could see that Ant, he's hungry for the SR, hungry for the wins, never wants to get off the grind. Honestly, really incredible stuff. You know, it's harder to point out the specific plays from you on the Moira position. Not a hero that gets a lot of star plays, but, you know, you're building up these coalescences really fast. able to keep everyone alive, and with that, able to add that extra little bit of aggression to those EMPs. And, we saw in the chat, a lot of people were talking about you should EMP first. No, you should EMP second. What's your guys' opinion on that?
Our opinion is that it kind of depends on what ultimates they have, but most of the time you should EMP first, just to make sure that they can't get an EMP off, and then you lose the fight because you can't use any of your ults and you can't use any of your abilities. You want to try and get that EMP off first most of the time.
Yeah, in your Lucio player, Giz, it was Giz, right?
Just
Yeah, doing a great job hiding. We were saying every time an EMP was coming up, he was paying attention. Is he sort of all tracking by himself, or is Ant also doing that?
He's the main ult tracker. Ant does a little bit, but most of the time it's Giz doing the ult tracking.
All right, really impressive stuff. That's all the questions I have. Duga, do you have anything to ask?
Yeah, what was your guys' mindset coming into the game? Did you guys think, oh, it's Powerhouse, he just lost Dad? Did you it's going to be easy? Or did you thinking, I don't know what to expect here? What were you guys thinking coming into this?
Honestly, we thought it was going to be an easy 3-0, but it did not turn out that way.
Yeah, I can definitely say that. I can agree to that. How does this game gonna help you prepare for your next week's game?
Well, we're getting better at this Reaper Sombra dive. I think that's the best we've played it in the entirety of our team. We're also learning how to play against Ryan more, which is helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you have any more questions, Duga?
Is there anything you want to say to any shout out to anybody on your team that you think just deserved special
you got a
recognition?
Twitch or a Twitter that you want to shout out for whoever's still listening?
Let's see. My boy Faulty, he sucks, but he was watching, so thanks for telling me I'm bad. Other than that, just everybody on Kingdom Come for being just fucking amazing.
You guys played great today. Your guys' dive was just miles ahead of what Powerhouse could do. I have no more questions, Eden.
Great stuff today. Pixel Master 3. We're looking forward to seeing more of you. Do you think that you'll be seeing Powerhouse again in the maybe towards the finals, or do you think that what they're doing over on the sides of Powerhouse isn't going to keep working for them from moving forward?
They'll probably make it farther on in the tournament. They're really good.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll get to see a rematch of sorts. It was close this time. I'm hoping to see more close games between the two of you guys. It was fun watching, fun to cast. I'm sure it was mega fun to play. Thank you so much for coming on. All right. With that is your League Zero Entertainment. Great stuff. Be sure to subscribe or follow and, Prime sub and all that good stuff to League Zero's Twitch. Check out their Discord if you want to know more about the events, if you want to support your friends and see what all the memes are going on about. I've been Eden Ocean. If you want to support me, the only thing I'd care about is to follow my podcast on YouTube, which is Film Insights, where I interview filmmakers. And I've been joined by the wonderful Duga.
Yep, it's been a pleasure casting with you, Eden. If you want to see more of me, I'm live, twitch.tv/Duga__. I do variety, so if you're into that, if you want to just talk to me, get to know me, that's great. Just stop by, give a follow, whatever works. But it's been a pleasure casting with you, Eden. An exciting game and really, really amazing stuff to see.
All right, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been League Zero, signing out.